Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you saw the thumbnail, you saw the title, but guess what? You get 2 for 1 today. That's right. I have Gary from Paramount Tactical, the obscure YouTuber, has come out of obscurity. To grace us with his say again.
So what's happening?
What's happening, my friend? How are you, man? All right. So we are going to see if we can make it through and watch Candace's most recent video. She said she's going live at 5:30, by the way. So if you're wondering, she'll be going live at 5:30. I got it queued up. Gary and I are going to chop it up a little bit. And then after this live stream with Candace, we are going to talk a little bit about the Epstein files and hear your thoughts, hear Gary's thoughts, unpack that a little bit and get into that. Now, Gary, I don't know if everybody has seen your fan video that was sent to you.
No, I think most of the people on YouTube, I haven't posted to YouTube yet, but I will. And I posted it to X. And folks, if you're not following Jason or I on X, you need to make sure you're following us on X.
Change that. Absolutely.
But I was looking through my YouTube alerts the other day, and I saw that somebody had tagged me in a video. And I came across this little gem right here, and I couldn't wait. I've been
little gem
like 4 or 5 days. And folks, I know a lot of you have been asking, hey, where have I been? Just to give
witness
you
protection.
A little bit of. So for those who don't know, like a couple weeks ago, my wife's father died. And so we were out of town for over a week. And believe it or not, this is not what I do for a living. Like, we actually have a business. So we were out of town for a week. Things were backing up there. And then we came back, and immediately after that, we had SHOT Show. So I was at SHOT Show for a week. And basically I just came back from SHOT Show last week, and I've just been trying to get unburied from all the stuff that we've been doing. And there's a lot of stuff that I haven't had a chance to respond to, but don't worry. It is not because I'm sitting over here worried about what Candace is saying or anything else. The fact is, we just had some things I had to get done. As a matter of fact, I got like 10 videos back there that I haven't even edited from SHOT Show. So I'm still way, way behind. I probably won't be doing quite just for the next couple of weeks, probably not as much social media and videos and things like that. But, don't worry. I'm not going anywhere. Fear not. Gary's not
my people.
All right.
Let me let the people know also, if you're interested in supporting your obscure podcaster or YouTuber, please feel free to go to, if the link will pop up in here correctly, it will. Don't want to do that yet. Hold on. All right. Please go to JWitt to the store and pick up your obscure YouTuber fan club shirt. All right. So, of course, this one right here is the general podcaster. And this one right here, the other one, actually has a JWitt podcast. Gary is going to send me his logo, and I'll put his logo on the back of this one, or maybe Gary will come up with another one. I don't know. But anyway, we got to support those obscure podcasters. Let them know that we appreciate what they're doing over here in obscurity.
Yeah, and I will say too, folks, if you're following me and you're not following, like, one of my goals is to get old JWitt up to 100,000 before March. All right, we got a month. We can do this. All right, so let's get
we got it.
And by the way, it's not just us. You need to help us too. So you guys need to be sharing his content, share my content too, but
Absolutely.
Share his content. And let's get him up to 100K followers. Let's get him a plaque.
I'm all for it.
I still got my plaque right over here that I'm going to end up. I haven't had a chance to shoot it, but I've had it for over a year. I've been meaning to shoot it with a 50 cal. We will.
I'm trying to put mine right here. I'm trying to put mine right there.
I'm going to put one up there, but it'll have a 50 cal hole through it.
I like it. I like it.
No, I'm still not happy with their anti-2A, anti-Christian, anti-conservative stances on everything.
On everything. Can you imagine like how much better YouTube would be if they would just remove their thumb off the scale of what you could say?
Well,
like there's a lot of things they could do, but I just like if they would stop that. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was just going to say that. I mean, the real problem here is that they do have their thumb on the scale, but it's all politics. Look,
right.
I hear the argument all the time that YouTube is all about money. And I think that's the dumbest argument ever. And one of the things that came up today, and I'll tell you why that is. One of the things that came up today, and one of the things that came up today, and one of the things that came up today, and one of the things that came up today, and one of the things that came up today, and one of the things that came up today, and one of the things that came up today, and one of the things that came up today, and one of the things that came up today, and one of the things that came up today, and one of the things that came up today, and one of the things that came up today, and one of the things that came up today, and one of the things that came up today, and one of the things that came up today, and one of the things that came up today, and one of the things that came up today, and one of the things that came up today, and one of the things that came up today, and one of the things that came up today, and one of the things that came up today, and one of the things that came up today, and one of the things that came up today, and one of the things that came up today, and one of the things that came up today, and one of the things that came up today, and one of the things that came One of the things that came up today was Ian Miles Chong said, "What is the reason behind YouTube's moderation policy regarding Candace Owens? Given the figures like Nick Fuentes, Alex Jones have been banned for rhetoric that many consider less extreme than her recent anti-Semitic commentary, there seems to be a double standard in how platform guidelines are applied. And there's also things that she's violated regarding the things that she said about Charlie Kirk, or well, specifically USA and Candace Owens and things like that. I mean, Erica Kirk. And my reply was, this is simple. YouTube supports the damage being done to the conservative movement by Candace Owens. It's a political psyop against MAGA, and they will do everything they can to amplify it. And that's the real secret sauce behind YouTube, is that they are ideologically driven. They're going to make money no matter what. But you can't tell me that having some of the conservative figures, real conservative figures, not leftists posing as conservatives like Candace Owens, that they wouldn't get the money in. The other thing too is they're very anti two-way. Look, there's all kinds of Second Amendment companies, whether it be accessories, other YouTube channels like mine that have businesses behind them that would generate a lot of revenue that people would be advertising. So this is nothing to do with money whatsoever. This is all about ideology, about politics, and the fact that Google is anti-American, it's anti-conservative, it's anti-everything Constitution, everything that the principles that which this country was founded, they're anti-Christian. So that's what the entire YouTube algorithm, make no mistake about it, is driven by, in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you. I'll only point out another inconsistency of YouTube is they don't like if somebody's been banned off the platform, me platforming somebody who's been banned off the platform.
Yeah, no, that's true.
And Candace literally had no qualms, no problem, fully monetized having Myron Gaines on her channel.
Yeah.
Literally sat down and did an hour-long interview with him. Same thing with Nick. Nick is banned off the platform. She had an hour-long video with him. Harvey Weinstein, I think it's fair to say that he might be a problematic individual. She had a whole interview with him from jail. No problem whatsoever. Fully monetized, fully, all of those things. That's crazy work right there. All right, I just want to get that off my chest.
No, that's good.
All right, let's but I do want to bring your friend up here though. I'm bringing the young lady up here, and I apologize. There is a little bit of language in here. The woman, she didn't get the memo about you got to speak to Gary in nice tone. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, here's Gary's fan email.
I'm sending this video out to Gary at Paramount Tactical. You are such a loser in all your BS chasing after Candace and criticizing her for her research on Charlie Kirk. Yet your lover boy Donald Trump just got majorly exposed for being a pedophile in more ways than one. Have you read the documents? I don't see any new recordings from you. Something shut you up finally, asshole.
Okay, Gary, in all honesty, okay, in the chat, let's be honest, people. How many beers do you think she had before she did this? Come on, let's be honest. Come on.
She had 2 boxes of wine, easy.
2 boxes? Wow. Okay. I was okay. 2 boxes for sure.
I wrote on X that the stereotype that I had in my mind of who a Candace cultist is, this wine slop candy cult.
Yeah, for sure.
It's exactly what you imagine it to be, right?
They don't let you down.
And I think that is the vast majority. Don't get me wrong. There's other folks out there, but for the most part, these are people that are living quiet lives of desperation that need something exciting to drive them. They have nothing going on in their lives. They don't have any meaningful relationships. So that they're going to rely on these conspiracy theories and things that seem exciting. I think a vast majority of them know that aren't true. And I think, look, I don't think for a second that Candace Owens and her surrogates believe what she says. She knows that people are dumb enough to buy into her bullshit. And it's just like all the other, look, it's entertainment, and she knows it is. And it's just like you can put the greatest, you can have Marvel Comics in the theater, or you can have one of the absolute best ever documentaries in the movie theater. And by the way, that documentary could tell you and prove to you that in like 5 years, this Earth is going to blow up or whatever, right? It could be
for sure.
It could prove an existential threat, and the entertainment is going to outperform truth every single time because people want the sweet lies over the bitter truth every single time, and that's what we're dealing with most of these people out there.
No, I think that's a great catch. I appreciate it. All right, I'm gonna pull in. I think after watching that young lady, I think the only thing that's reasonable and makes sense is that we take a little station break. We hear from somebody that maybe can help cleanse the palate, so to speak. So with no further ado, Ami Kozak. Bang. Ami Kozak, green hearts in the chat. Oh, and by the way, I heard it in the chat. Green hearts in the chat for Jay Witt, red hearts for Paramount Tactical. I don't know if you do that, but I'm now making that a thing. Red hearts for Paramount Tactical.
Red hearts for
hearts in the chat. And I'll just say it differently today. Hearts in the chat when you can hear.
All right, you guys, today on the show, we're going to be discussing more about Erica Kirk and her possible connection, her possible relation to Captain Kirk, who, as you all know, was the captain of Star Trek in the Star Trek space exploration, in which they were going deep into outer space to various planets. We want to know why they were going to these planets, because it's so obvious they were performing deep child trafficking rituals, okay? Child rituals where they're performing ritualistic sacrifice deep into outer space and going to various planets to perform these. We know this. We're going to be discussing this. Erica Kirk's connection to Captain Kirk, who was played by none other than William Shatner, okay? William Shatner was, of course, Jewish, okay? He was raised in Canada to two Jewish parents whose grandparents, William Shatner's grandparents, were from Ukraine and Lithuania, okay? Which is just crazy because we all know that Ukraine and Lithuania, I mean, Ukraine is really interesting. I just find that very interesting what's going on with Ukraine and that his grandparents were from Ukraine. And these are, of course, the child trafficking capitals of the world today, okay? So we're going to be discussing William Shatner's connection to his Jewish ancestry, and this all makes perfect sense. Of course it makes sense. And the fact that he played Captain Kirk, okay, on Star Trek, and Captain Kirk's connection to Erica Kirk, I mean, it all aligns, it all makes sense. I've been telling you the truth, okay? It's gonna make perfect sense, and I'm not crazy at all.
What do you think about? Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, as funny and as crazy as that is, it's exactly what we deal with Candace. It's the exact same line of thinking and logic that Candace used. She strings these weird things together that make no sense, that have no relation, that are absolutely incoherent, and then she puts it all together and like, there it is. That's what we have.
There it is.
It's there is literally no difference. He could have been quoting her, which, by the way, I really love that guy's impressions of Tucker Carlson. Those are the best. I don't know if
you know what? Because if you behave properly and everybody make sure you hit those like buttons, all that kind of stuff like that, I will find one of him doing Tucker. His Tuckers are insane. You are correct. Now, I'll find a Tucker while you're talking. Go ahead.
Well, I just want to say a couple people mentioned, and I just saw, I can't click on comments over here, but Mary's Abel Bajard, 8879. This is exactly right. Candace wants Republicans destroyed and her followers too. Look, that is the entire point of this. Yeah. And if you can take down everything is associated, everything associated with the Republican Party, MAGA, Trump, is the nexus of that is TPUSA.
I mean, like, who even is
going on with this? And people need to realize this is all an indirect attack at MAGA, at Donald Trump himself, and what we're looking at for the midterms and ultimately 2028. And that's what people need to realize. And hopefully, and I think our viewers are really smart and intelligent, but it does boggle my mind, so many of these people that are Candace followers that still claim to be MAGA, when I think if they express that down in the comments of any Candace video, because we just saw it. We saw that lady that says, you know, she's all about Candace. She's the one going after Donald Trump. And that's what these really are. And that is, I think, one of the few people that Candace fears is going after Donald Trump directly.
So, you know, I think you are right on the money. And somebody asked me, what do I think about her being a speaker of the Catholics for Catholics, which ironically is not associated with any Catholic church. I was going to talk about that actually tomorrow, Ruben, but I'll talk about it right now. This is exactly why I say emphatically that there needs to be a culling of the herd, and people groups should stop allowing people into their group that just self-identify without there are actual requirements, if you will, to be a Catholic. Now, do I promote Catholicism? No. We will probably have a fight in a second about what I think about Catholics. But let me just go back to where I'm at. Catholics need to cull their herd, just like Presbyterians need to cull their herd, just like Black people need to cull their herd. And people that represent you need to represent you properly. And just like I say all the time, not everybody who says that they're Black or support Black causes or the highly melanated crowd need to be saying anything, because they don't represent. And the same thing with Presbyterians, or same thing with Christians or Catholics. Catholics need to say something about this. If Catholics are okay with this, then that's just what it is. That just says, it says way more than me being upset about it, or Gary being upset about it, or anybody that's not affiliated with Catholicism being upset about it. If Catholics are okay with that, that's on you. I'm not going to lose any sleep over it.
Leadership, and especially Catholic leadership. I think
absolutely.
They have, just like any pastor out there has, any head of a church or religious organization or whatever else, they're the ones that should be out there, giving a little bit of counsel to their flock and actually talking to these people and saying, hey, this is right, this is wrong. Like we could go through 100 different Bible verses and talk about the things that is unbiblical that Candace Owens is doing. And while I'm not Catholic and I disagree with the Catholic faith, that's why I'm not Catholic. That being said, I think that Catholics are Christians. I disagree with them from a theological standpoint, and that's fine. But I know a lot of Catholic folks that in what I see in Candace is not a representation of everything that I know that is Catholic in Catholicism in general. So, that's on them. And here's the other thing. If I was Catholic, because I believe that we should always police up our own. But if I was Catholic, number one, I would be speaking out against Candace. The other thing that I think a conversation that needs to be had amongst Catholics, and the fact that Candace is constantly going after pedos this and pedos that, is I do think that there needs to be some sort of discussion that goes on with what is the sexual abuses that have taken place within the Catholic Church.
No doubt, no question.
I haven't seen a reconciliation of all that. As a matter of fact, from my perspective, and again, I don't keep up with Catholics, and people, you guys can, correct me if I'm wrong over in the comments. What I've seen is I don't necessarily want to say a cover up, but they're ignoring the issue at a minimum. And I think that needs to be addressed head on. It needs to be discussed, because there's a problem there, without a doubt. And I think it's hypocritical that Candace herself, who's always allegedly going after pedos this and pedos in leadership, why are we not talking about the PDF issues that we had within the Catholic Church, her own church?
And there you go. That's it. I don't have anything else to say. I'm right there with you. So I don't have a dog in the race. I'll just say this, as Gary just said, and I'll just punctuate it. This is on those who profess to be Catholic. Deal with your own situation. As I said before, deal with the dry patch of grass in your own front yard. Candace looks past her own front yard being on fire to go put together a theory about your yard. Man, what about, come on, deal with your own situation, your own issue, before you start talking all this recklessness about somebody else's situation, good or bad or indifferent. There's a lot that she could deal with on her own. I've never heard her address Catholicism. I never hear her talk about what's going on in Islam. Never hear her talk about it. But she'll fabricate and come up with all these concoctions. I got a feeling today is going to be more. But what about you miss all the other things that are very clear and very evident in order to make up something about another group that you disagree with. But shout out for sure. Okay. Yeah. I do want to say thank you so much. We got some new members up in this building. Thank you so much, Patrine, for being a brand new member. We appreciate you. Now, Bruce, it looks like it's over, I believe, on your side. It doesn't tell me exactly where, but it says it's not from here, but it might be from yours. Just signed up on X. Y'all will get a lot more content. Thanks, Gary and Whit. Well, thank you, Bruce. I appreciate you for being a member for a month. Now, this is something interesting. Maybe we need to talk about this as well. Maybe we need to start talking about Dan. Dan Bongino is back, and he took over #1 podcast easily. And I've heard this many times from different sources, easily over Candace. And he's on Rumble. He's not even on YouTube.
I think they're probably counting the Spotify primarily numbers. I'd have to look at that. I think that's usually where those numbers come from. I don't know if that's fair. I don't know if that makes perfect sense as far as analytics go, but that's usually where those numbers come from. What I will say is, look, Dan just coming back, his haters and everybody that loves him, his fans, everybody else. I don't know that I love Dan. There's some things I disagree with Dan on. But what I will say is, if we start going out there and saying, "Oh, Dan's the #1 podcast," like, I don't know that that's true in a week. I mean, he just came back. Of course, his number is going to skyrocket the first couple episodes for sure, and hopefully they maintain that. I mean, I think he's much more reasonable, no matter what disagreements I have with him, and I think they're minor. And I don't even know if it's disagreements; it's kind of criticisms of the way of what went down within the FBI. But I mean, you're definitely at least listening to somebody that has some principles, some morals, and somebody for the love of Jesus 22. I just want to address this too. She said,
"Is this one?"
Yep.
She said, ready.
Candace, she isn't a Catholic. As a Catholic myself, they push to creating a relationship with Jesus. Personally, she overlooks abuse in the church. So I agree with that. And not only do I agree with that she's not Catholic. Look, and this is just this is speculation, my opinion. And I'm very hesitant to start criticizing somebody's religion, their walk with God, their relationship with God, and everything else. But I
want me to do it. I'll do it. I'll do it without any hesitation if you want me to.
We can look at the Bible, and we can look at the fruits of the Spirit and what's going on there. One of the things that dawned on me, and have you ever looked into Scientology?
No, but not deeper than just some of the shenanigans, hijinks, a very high level view.
Sure.
I didn't need to dig into it, but go ahead. I'm sorry.
A few years ago, I got really into looking at Scientology, not because I was attracted by it, but because I was disgusted by it. And then I started learning about how crazy it is. Basically, Scientology is this atheistic religion that is kind of formatted, bottled up, and presented as a self-help. And that's really what they start off. And there's probably some merit in some of the lower level stuff that they do. And it's really about learning self-discipline, just basic things that most people, that, by the way, that religion, especially Christianity, but I'll say all religions, but Christianity specifically gives us a much better foundation to begin with. But that's how it's sold. And I got really into looking at Scientology, its origins, L. Ron Hubbard, how it works, how you actually increase your status, and really into some of the details of the stuff. And at the end of the day, her rhetoric is much more akin to Scientologists than it is anything that resembles Christianity, anything even close. From past, as a matter of fact, most of what she says is so antithetical to the teachings of Jesus Christ, and especially the New Testament, that it's really hard to even begin to try to say that, hey, what she represents in any form is Christianity. I would make a case that she is much more akin to Scientology. And then we have John Mappin, who is one of her biggest advocates, who likes to talk. Look, and this is one of the Scientologist games, is they talk a lot about Jesus, Christianity. It doesn't matter if they're talking to a Buddhist, they're going to use the language of a Buddhist. If they're talking to a Christian, they're going to use the language of a Christian. And they're trying to appeal to you, to recruit you. And this is really what this is, to recruit you into a cult. And that's what it is. So you see John Mappin, that is a big supporter of hers and has had a huge influence on her life, allegedly introduced her husband, George Farmer, to Candace.
To her.
So I think there's more going on there than we understand, but I do think she's heavily influenced at a minimum by Scientology. And it clearly shows that there's more evidence of Scientology than Christianity or Catholicism.
No, I think you're right on the money. I do want to say this though, in the chat, for the people that say that we should debate Candace, which I have zero issue with it. She's welcome to come on. I would absolutely do that. Why don't you debate us instead of that? I mean, we can drop the link and we can make that happen tonight. I have zero issue with that. You can email management dearwokec@gmail.com. I have no problem whatsoever talking to individuals who disagree with me. So instead of worrying about, you should debate her, you should debate her, why don't you come and talk to me? Why don't you? Because I don't ever intend to change Candace's mind. I've said this ad nauseum. I think the Lord is going to have to change Candace. So she's passed any way that I would be able to talk sense to her. But maybe you are. So if instead of you saying in the chat, Gary, you should debate so-and-so. No, who cares about that? Why don't you come on? You're a big boy. You're a big girl. Gary's a nice guy. And I'm a pretty decent fellow, I think. And we can make that happen tonight. I'm just going to put that out there with no further caveat. So what I'm going to do next, Gary, we got to clean the palate, man. We got to get our minds ready. Got to get ourselves in the mindset of dealing with Candace. I think the only thing we can do is we got to take a Tucker break. We got to take a Tucker Carlson break. Now, don't tell me that this is not Tucker Carlson, by the way, because I do believe this is Tucker Carlson.
I mean, who even is Dave Rubin? I don't even know what that means. I don't even know who that is, actually, like at all.
So what did you mean when you said Dave Rubin doesn't have a soul?
I did say he doesn't have a soul. I was talking about the soles of his feet, actually. Like, from what I understand, he's flat-footed. I know he plays a lot of basketball, a lot.
So you do know him.
And so if you have flat feet and you're playing basketball, I mean, that could certainly affect how you play. It certainly can cause a lot of pain. I don't wish pain on anybody, actually. I don't want him to have any sort of pain. But if he does have flat feet, then there's a problem with his soles. He doesn't really have a soul. He doesn't have soles. And he might need Dr. Scholl's, which can help. I think Dr. Scholl's was a Jewish man. And I have no problem with that at all. But if he was a white person, there's no problem with that either. Period.
What?
And so
wait, Tucker, those comments were about Dave Rubin's feet?
The truth is, I barely even know who Dave Rubin is at all, actually.
But didn't you write the blurb to one of his books? Don't Burn This Book?
Yeah, that was a mistake. I thought I was writing a blurb for Rick Rubin.
Really?
Actually, yeah, the music producer.
You thought it was for Rick Rubin?
Yeah. Oops. He's a music producer. He doesn't wear shoes either. He may have flat feet as well. And he's also Jewish, and that's fine. I abhor anti-Semitism. I hate it. I actually hate it. Oh,
sure.
Find it despicable. And all racism is wrong, period.
You also said Rubin is one of the bravest, smartest people you know and has a tremendous television presence.
Yes, I was talking about Ruben Studdard.
Who?
Ruben Studdard from American Idol. I think it was the first or second season.
Flying without wings.
Oh, man.
I mean, listen to that. It's amazing. Flying Without Wings, which I think could have possibly been a reference to 9/11. We don't know. I don't know at all for sure. But it seems like a reference to 9/11. We don't know what happened that day. Flying Without Wings certainly seems like some sort of cryptic message. I'd like to look into that. I'd like to ask those questions. There's nothing wrong with that. But that's Ruben Studdard, who I love deeply. I love.
Ruben Studdard. So Dave Rubin.
No idea. I'm sorry. Don't know who you are. Sorry, no idea.
So all those times you were praising Ruben.
Yeah, I was talking about the Reuben sandwich.
Wow.
Which is a deli sandwich, which is developed by Jewish people, and I love Jewish people. Some of my favorite people, actually. And the people who support Jewish people are some of my least favorite people. Sorry, and I take that back, but I love deli.
So not Dave Rubin, but the
Reuben sandwich.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, lastly, what are your thoughts on Dave Rubin?
I love him.
Yep. You're not serious.
I know.
All right. You ready? Did that help cleanse your mind, get yourself in the mindset?
I don't know if
craziness
in the world. People have been asking me, Gary, why haven't you done a watch video, reaction video? Man, I'll tell you, I am at I don't know,
peak exhaustion,
Candace saturation between her people and just the
Candace saturation is crazy.
The illogical nonsense that I'm forced to sit through and listen to is just. But you know what? I'm glad to be here with you. Glad to be here with everybody over in the chat. Let's do it. I don't know.
All right. Well, she has not hit the go button yet on her show yet, even though it is 5:30. So I'll pull it in just so you all can see that we are in fact ready to go. We have Gary from Paramount Tactical. Please make sure that you like his channel. Please make sure you follow him on X. You're more prolific on X than YouTube. Is that fair?
No, I think the opposite.
You think? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I have been. Look, X is easy to do when I'm not doing anything else. Like, you know what it is. Like, if we're gonna get up here on YouTube, like we got to get here, you got to sit down, make a video. It is easy. I hated X just a few months ago. I've learned to like it, and I've learned to utilize it. So I'm putting a lot more content over there. But when I'm traveling or whatever else, it's much easier to just throw up comments or repost something or post a quick video. It's easier to do. I definitely have probably been more prolific over the last couple of weeks than I have been on YouTube. But normally the opposite by far is true.
Got it. Understood completely. No, I wasn't saying, because I see you definitely more active over there, but that's fair. That's fair. I'm just looking through some of these comments. What did I miss here? Shout out. Thank you so very much, Jennifer. No question, no comment, just pure love of the game, respecting the game. Thank you so much for the very kind 5. Thank you. Debbie says this with the 5. This makes me want to cancel YouTube, so I'm not supporting Google, but I want to follow all of this, and watch your videos. Is there another platform? Most of mine is here on YouTube. I don't put. Do you put yours on Rumble or other places?
Yeah,
you put it on X.
I simulcast everything and I upload everything to Rumble as well. The problem with Rumble is it sucks. I mean, I don't know other way to. Number one, you just don't get the views. You get 1/100th of the views that you will on YouTube. Look, folks, I really do think I'm kind of putting a lot of eggs in the basket of X. Number one, it's a free speech platform, as close as we're going to get. It by far the freest of all the platforms. Ultimately, and Elon has talked about this, he wants X to be the everything app, right? So it is definitely going more video centric. So I am cross posting everything I do on YouTube over to X as well. And if and when X kicks me off, or YouTube kicks me off rather,
YouTube kicks off.
Being. They have continued just in the last few weeks. I've never seen anything like it. They've continued to pull a bunch of my content off that has been there for years. I do think this is an attempt by the Candace cult, and I know that there's certain Candace surrogates that have been telling people to report me and my content and things like that. So during this whole Candace thing, the first time ever, I got 2 strikes and was pulled off of YouTube for a month or a week. And so, and then I was, then we've had, I was off a month, or was it a week? I don't remember. I think it was a week, but regardless. And then I've had like 2 or 3 streams. You were on one of them that I actually pulled down. A lot of my videos continue to get demonetized. And part of this I think we're easy prey because we are a 2A channel. I think part of that plays into this. And, YouTube's never been a friend of mine to begin with. So.
Right. Yeah. So I think, just to answer the question, I think this is the easiest place for people to find content. And again, I think, and Gary and I have talked about this I think we talked about on channel, that, we want, Rumble to be more efficient, to be better, so that you can find, so we could do something exclusively over there and get a little bit more of a viewership. But it's just hard to work with them. They don't have a very user-friendly. You might not see it on the back. You might not see it on the forward facing, because it's more on the back end. It's just hard to work with them. When again, all you gotta do is push a button and you pop up on YouTube. You don't have to go back, cut and pasting, repasting and resharing. If you put something wrong, you gotta go back and re-edit it and start over again. That's just very discouraging. So I just hit the button, and your girl is not on yet, but we are ready. We're ready. We have been here, man.
That's true.
I appreciate everybody's here. Go ahead, my friend. Has she hit? I don't think she hit the button yet. Somebody said she went live, but the button has not been hit. We're still sitting here. All right. Give me your overall thoughts on her attacks on Erica Kirk. Her now just outright blatant attacks on Erica Kirk.
Well, I mean, it's disgusting. There's no other. I don't really have another adjective for it.
Right.
again, I'm always kind of thinking about what's going on with Candace and who she is and what she's doing and what she's. I mean, this is all can be tracked back to just high school nasty girl, jealous girl gossip, right? What she's doing is she's sitting back at a table with a bunch of her friends, and this girl comes walking in, that's cute, that's nice, and then they're just sitting there. They're just sitting there and like, oh, look what she's wearing today. Oh, look at this. Look at that.
Yeah.
Look what kind of jewelry she has. Oh, look who the people that she hangs out with. It's that nasty high school girl smear that creates this illusion of suspicion and everything. And she's obviously has such a large, she has a large table that she's sitting at, right? So she has such a large table that it's effective. And I've seen, and I'm sure you've seen it too.
Right, guys,
fire in the hole.
Tuesday, a lot to uncover today. First and foremost, we have a lot of alibis that were given to us about September 10th, where people were when they got the news. And I have to say, these alibis are beginning to crumble like Building 7 on 9/11. We're going to talk about that too, Building 7, very briefly.
Wow.
Also, Ben Shapiro watches every single minute of this show. Trust me, he directly quotes it all the time, everywhere he goes. We don't know, but we know. And you have to watch this clip of him attempting to make fun of me. It's glorious. It's glorious. I really have one. Welcome back to Candace.
I think Ben Shapiro's right. I think he's got her number for sure.
I agree.
All right, here we go with alibis. Let's go with alibis, which is nasty work. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Green hearts in the chat when you can hear.
It's very macabre work.
A lot going on, you guys. A lot to cover, to uncover. And apparently our government is out there just trying to discover certain things. And I just have to tell you what's going on in this world right now, the best way that I can make you understand this. We're essentially the Muggles, for those of us who read Harry Potter, maybe those of us who were dweebing it like me and read it a few times in the story of Harry Potter. We're the Muggles. There's this entire world of witchcraft and wizardry, spiritual darkness, and spiritual.
I'm gonna stop real quick because I didn't watch Harry Potter. I haven't read Harry Potter. I'm not very interested in it. I just want to throw something out here, and I would like for you all, when she does it, just spam the chat and say, "I told you so, Jace. I told you so." Whenever she shows you actual evidence for what she's going to say, I don't even know what the Muggles are, but I guarantee you she's not going to show you any correlation and say, hey, this is an example. Gary is doing this, and I have proof. Here's evidence that you can see, that you can run with, and you can analyze yourself and see that I'm coming to the same conclusion. She will not do that. This is going to be crazy.
Light that's happening, people that are practicing literally Babylonian magic, and they intentionally rendered us as the Muggles, the people who are not aware that it's going on at all. That all seems so ridiculous. That can't be true. And I think that began.
Say again, my friend.
I was just Babylonian magic.
Right, Babylonian magic. So
Project Looking Glass.
Yeah, we're back to Project Looking Glass, time travel, and the such like that. Like, she means this thing. She's not saying this in hyperbole. She does, in fact, mean this. So this is not just like, Gary, it was magic how you called me right at the right time. No, she means magic.
Began, by the way, transforming us into idiots. It began in America, when they removed the Bible out of the classroom. That used to be taught at public schools, the Bible, so that you knew.
Okay, I'm here to pick fights. What stops, if the Bible being removed from classrooms, which, by the way, is weird work. I'm a former classroom teacher. You really didn't want these people teaching your kids Bible. I'll be honest with you. But what's stopping you as a parent from teaching your child Bible once you get home? I'll wait. And here's a bonus question. What's stopping Candace from teaching the Bible here on her show? Nothing. That's right. Not a thing. It doesn't matter.
The real point behind this, though, Jason, is she's mixing Christianity speak with all the other stuff that she's going to present, which is demonic in itself. She's going to convince you that there is witchcraft at play, that there's all these things going on in play. And then she's going to even talk about witchcraft, essentially, like when Charlie's necromancy, when Charlie's coming to her in her dreams, revealing things, like that's completely, again, not biblical.
Right.
But so she mixes this around in the same way that the devil actually quoted scripture to Jesus as he tried to tempt him. So this is what we're dealing with, and this is the type of person that we're dealing with. It is demonic, and she is the head of it all.
Let's keep it going. Let's get it.
your history. And then kind of Hollywood rose and they sort of make fun of people that go to church. They've also, people that do go to church are having the word perverted in some ways, as we've covered extensively on this show. They made us think essentially that the Bible was a fairy tale, effectively blinding us all to the fact that it is very real. All of it is real. Angels, demons. Today's just going to be one of those WTF episodes when I share with you the true story of what the heck we were doing in Iraq.
We were capturing a Sumerian magic device. That's what we were doing.
I thought we were running duck and cover for Indiana Jones, special ops for Indiana Jones, and the lost, I don't know, pacifier of Pharaoh. I don't know what, well, it was something. Moses's gym shoes from 3rd grade PE class. We were there. That's what we were there to uncover, right? Again, somebody mentioned it this week that they think Candace got hit with another cease and desist, or her lawyers told her that she needs to stop because she seems to be taking her foot off the pedal, even though yesterday was gross. I admit. She seems to not be coming out the gate talking about TPUSA. It's almost like she's adding some more things in there so she can say like, well, I was going crazy. I was having a psychedelic moment or whatever that nature. Because this is just bona fide insanity. And yesterday was probably even worse. But all right, let's go.
Let's go back. Let's go backward.
Backward.
Let's recap the Muggle edition of what we were told, okay? The Muggle edition goes like this. On September 11th, 2001, some super de-duper evil Muslims, known to most of us now as Israelis, hijacked some planes and drove them into the Pentagon, flew them into the Pentagon building, also the Twin Towers, and then Building 7 kind of got really emotional seeing his friends get hit and went ahead and just collapsed itself, right?
Gary, I know I told you, bro, I'm going to try not to rage quit because I got guests here today. We had 1,200 people watching. I'm going to do my very best not to rage quit. I cannot promise you that this is evil.
Yeah.
Again, go ahead, man. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was just going to say, and what she's doing here is she's undermining the credibility of some real, look, there are still some questions unanswered about 9/11.
Absolutely.
There's no questions about that we should discuss. And Building 7 is a real mystery. That being said, I'm not ready to throw out, there could be explanations that we just don't understand. The fact is we don't know. But what she's doing here is like, I want to believe every time she speaks, I'm like, you know what? I'm just going with the official narrative. I hate you so much.
Right.
I'm going to go with the opposite of whatever you say. But all joking aside, she's taking these very serious issues because she doesn't have any in-depth knowledge about any of these things. And she's making jokes about it and comparing it to Harry Potter and turning it into this Muggle story because her audience are morons. Let's just, like, I no longer...
There's no doubt there. No question.
I no longer even blame Candace Owens. I blame her godless, idiotic...
Smooth brain.
Yeah, like that is the problem. These are people that are hateful, that are vile. I think they're a bigger problem than Candace Owens herself, because most of this stuff I think Candace Owens is making up. She doesn't believe. She just knows that her moron wine slop cultists will believe whatever she says. It doesn't matter how ridiculous it is. They have no use of they've abandoned logic. They've abandoned common sense. They've abandoned any sort of, I don't know, moral structure whatsoever, and are willing to say and do whatever it takes to destroy someone that she has directed them to hate. Hey, I want you to hate Erica Kirk for all of the Gossip Girl reasons that I said. I don't like the way her hair is. She cries too much. She doesn't cry enough. She didn't mourn long enough. She sat on the tarmac too long. She wore too much sparkly suit, like too much pyrotechnic. Like really, like she can't win. Erica couldn't win no matter what. So okay, let's no, I'm with you 100%. I wish we disagreed on something, but we don't.
By the way, I should mention that over at the Pentagon, that plane was also very unique. It apparently had no wings when it just dove into the Pentagon. Some people said they heard a missile, but we won't ask questions. We're not here to debate those conspiracies. We were told that this was executed by the Saudis. They had hijacked the plane. How did we know? Well, because one of them was kind enough as to conveniently drop off his passport on the sidewalk to make sure that we knew that it was them that was getting away with these super duper evil crimes. I'll remind you of that video very quickly about the passport being found.
Donna, when these buildings came crashing down on Tuesday, they sent debris showering in several blocks in every direction. And it was in one of those areas a couple of blocks away from the World Trade Center site, apparently where that passport was found. The FBI announcing that it has found the passport of one of the hijackers who was on board one of those two planes that hit the Twin Towers on Tuesday morning.
I mean, I was young. But for those of you that were not young and were grown adults, did you just accept that? I was a kid. That's my excuse. Okay.
Gary, do you remember how old you were?
I do. I was 20 years old.
Really?
Yeah.
I was 32. That means hey, wait, man, hold on.
I was born in
Don't be doing that math, y'all. Don't be doing that math.
What year were you born?
Hey, let's not talk about that. Because now I feel like really old. 74. I was born in 74.
You're a young 74.
Oh, well, there we go. No, I heard that story and I thought it was garbage too. I did. But it was very. Go ahead.
No. I'm sorry. I was finish what you were saying. I'm sorry.
No, when I heard that, I'm like, man, get up out of here. But that didn't change anything for me. I didn't think I thought the whole finding the passport on the side of the road was definitely something to be considered comedy at best. But it didn't change anything else for me. Candace will change her whole narrative because they found the passport on the side of the road. And I've said this before, she makes mountains out of molehills. She just gets fixated with something that doesn't make sense. And it doesn't matter how important or not important it is to the story. Gary, why do we drive on parkways but park on driveways? I don't get it. And she just keeps going and going and going and won't stop until you explain why we drive on parkways and drive and park on driveways.
What she's really doing here is she's taking credible conspiracy theories because again, some of these I don't believe that a passport just happened to fall out of that either. I don't have an explanation to that, but I can tell you the passport of one of the terrorists in that burning inferno that just happened to fall out on that. I don't believe that. I don't have an explanation for it. There could have been more people involved. There could have been CIA involved. There could have been Al-Qaeda people on the ground involved. There could have been Saudi Arabian intelligence operatives involved in the ground. There's lots of explanations. But the problem here, what's really going on, is she's taking credible conspiracies and she's trying to build credibility of her own BS, the stuff that makes no sense.
Right.
We don't have anything compare that instance to what's going on with the Charlie Kirk.
There we go.
The French Foreign Legion killed Charlie Kirk, but you still haven't given us any evidence of that. So what she's saying is, okay, there is evidence. These are the conspiracies that are true. So therefore my conspiracy is true. Just like where I always hear people, well then, you don't think Charlie Kirk was killed by, I don't know, the CIA, the freaking French Foreign Legion. Oh, what about Martin Luther King or JFK?
Oh my gosh.
Because one thing is true doesn't make the other things true. That is a absolute fallacy. And it's illogical. It's dumb. It's the laziest. It's the laziest. It's intellectually lazy and it's dumb. I don't know what to say about it.
No, I'm right there with you. And I think and she does this a lot. And she likes to try to dovetail her ideas onto things because most people, Harry Potter is about to be put out on Audible. So it's out there in the world. People are talking about Harry Potter. And they're even considering, if I'm not mistaken, rebooting and redoing the whole series again in live action. There's been rumblings of that. So she knows there's audience and people are hearing and talking about Harry Potter. So she inserts her crazy story into the Harry Potter narrative, as well as credible conspiracies and credible questions from 9/11 to bolster and make her case, even though her case is flimsy on its face. It doesn't need Harry Potter. It doesn't need 9/11. She just wants it to try to bolster it up. But
look, I bet she's doing market research on all this.
I wouldn't doubt it.
I bet she is actually paying for, like, hey, out of my audience, like, what are some themes that resonate with them? Is it 9/11? Is it Harry Potter? Like, folks, this is so engineered and construed at this point, and if you can't see that, you're blind.
Let me also add another then. Remember, did you see the Ben Shapiro commentary about her?
Which one?
The one that he was doing a live Q&A where somebody asked him a question saying that Candace said that she had a dream about you. And did you see that conversation? I'm sure she's gonna bring it up. But it's funny because in the dream, Candace says that she's playing chess with Ben Shapiro, but she's not playing regular chess. She's playing Harry Potter 4D chess. So I'm wondering even if that's part of why she brought it up, is to keep bringing that Harry Potter into the narrative, because that's what Ben Shapiro was talking about in that rebuttal to her. I'm sure she's going to bring it in. And if not, we'll play it later. Okay, let's get this going.
It's in middle school. But for those of you that were not in middle school, did you just accept this? Those of you that had families, did you go watch the news and go, no, that makes sense. Yeah, the debris just from, we could not even find human remains, but the debris just fell and unfortunately flew away out the window. He's like threw his passport. I have so many questions about that. But again, we're not here to relitigate 9/11. We know how we felt. We all gathered around those super
pause this for a second. I hate
TVs.
Yeah, no problem.
We were
I think
not a problem.
What she doesn't understand are the people that actually went through this. Like, we didn't find this stuff out the day after or that day or anything else. What we watched was something horrific. We saw people jumping out of the buildings. I'm getting emotional about it.
Yeah.
You know, this is why. So for people that don't know, I had a career. I was 20 years old. I was a young father at the time already. And I had a career. I was working at a sales company. I'd already made junior vice president of a sales company. I was doing sales and things like that. Perfectly happy, making a lot of money for someone my age. And 9/11 happened, and 2 days later, I was in the recruiting station. And that's what began my entire military career. I wanted revenge so bad for what took place. And watching everything that happened, the way that she's belittling the people that went through this, the way that she is minimizing the traumatic effect. I don't know. None of us knew who did it for sure. What I will say is that we were at such an emotional high. We were so emotionally driven at that point. We just wanted something done. And we were primed to be tricked. I will admit that. And I do think there's unanswered questions, to leave it like that. I don't think that we should have went to Iraq. And I've lost lots of friends in Iraq. I did 2 combat tours in Iraq. I did the initial invasion into Iraq. I was there for 13 months, and then came back a couple of years later and did another 10 months in Iraq. So a lot of devastation, almost lost my life dozens and dozens of times in Iraq. I think that was a waste. And I think that ultimately the reason that we didn't win the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan was because our leaders didn't want us to win the war, even though we could have, because it was much more beneficial, financially beneficial, that we prolong these wars and we stay out there. From a defense standpoint, there's lots of benefits to us being deployed overseas, and a lot of defense contractors and a lot of politicians, and we can use this as pushing public policy. We saw what happened with, our rights being limited by the Patriot Act.
Yeah, Patriot Act. Yep.
Agree with. So there's lots of questions, but for her to sit there and be like, "You people were just dumb," like, it infuriates me at a level that I just want to reach through and, I don't know, caress her face. I'll just leave it.
Don't do it. Don't give in to it, Gary. No, I agree with you 1,000%. And again, it does minimize where people were, because now, hindsight is 2020. What have we been, like 25 years?
Yeah.
There's a whole lot of hindsighting that we've been doing since then.
And some of that information we didn't find out till years later. Like,
there's some information we didn't find out till yesterday.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, right. So I don't think it's fair to look at it. And this is what I call historical revisionism, where you look back at 9/11, don't quote me on it, was 11:45 in the morning, and you act like at that moment we know everything that we know. I'm sorry, we knew everything then that we know now. That's not true. That wasn't true. It wasn't. So, okay, let's keep this game going because we got a lot to get through.
Yep.
Shout out to the best live chat. Make sure y'all please jump into the chat. Let's go.
Perhaps expecting that as a result of this, we may indeed have to go to war with Saudi Arabia. That's what makes sense. They dropped the passports off for us to find in the debris. But that actually didn't happen. Oddly, we were told a couple of years later that we had to go to war with Iraq very quickly. Now, yesterday, I mentioned to you all the Epic of Gilgamesh of Uruk, understood to be actually the story of Nimrod in the Bible.
If you believe that Candace has read the Epic of Gilgamesh, please in the chat. Please in the chat. Please a book emoji. If you believe that Candace has ever read the Epic of Gilgamesh, I'm just going to ask you the question. Just put it in the chat.
Was a warrior who rebelled against God, Nimrod, and established his own kingdom in Mesopotamia and in Assyria. I'm showing you this map of that region so you can see where exactly we're speaking about. Kind of feels like where we're doing a lot of stuff right now, actually. Lebanon, Syria, and now we're talking about going into Iran. Well, I got an email yesterday from one of you, and I have to read it to you because I went, no way, no way. I also got some other.
I'm going to just stop. Her inbox is the Arkham Asylum to Batman. Her inbox is the rogues gallery of whatever superhero you need. That's it. I'm sorry. Every story starts with, I got a message, I got an email, you won't believe. I have 50, 100,000 million emails, and this one just popped up to the top, Gary. It never fails. Every rabbit trail that she's gone on has started with an email or some kind of message external, some kind of external message. Mitch Snow, that crazy lady that was on meth, talking about Erica. This story, the plane story, was an email. The Red Crane, every story starts with an email. That's crazy work. When did she ever realize that the emails are playing you? Okay. I'm sorry. Let's go. Did you want to say anything, Gary? You like, look.
I just like this comment because it's exactly correct. Wyoming gal 64, a passport on the sidewalk equals turning point killed Charlie Kirk.
There you go. 26 years later. There you go. Yep. That's the logic. I can see it. There you go. Shout out to Wyoming gal. You squared that peg. You got it. This woman right here. Somebody said she will read shampoo directions. Dang, man. Dang. That's pretty harsh, man. Goodness.
But this one, I'm going to read to you.
Whoa.
I never email.
Hold it. She's actually put it on the screen. Oh, wow. I'm sorry. She can say Ben Shapiro watches her show. She watches my show because I say this every time. She actually put it on the screen.
But I watched your show today and felt led to send you this email you mentioned in your show about the Clintons wanting to find Gilgamesh's tomb. You need to look up the research that was done by Rob Skiba. They did find Gilgamesh, aka Nimrod. He was a giant. He was very well intact. Yes,
I'm sorry.
Invaded just after he was found. The first place that we went during that war and set up a base was a museum. Not just any museum, the museum that held all of the relics for that. It also held all of the cuneiform tablets from Babylon and Gilgamesh and or Nimrod's tomb. They said that the museum was, quote, raided, and that the military, retrieved everything except for the tablets that had to do with reincarnating and bringing back the Nephilim, fallen angels, noted in Genesis 6. The Bible speaks of this. This is not a fantasy. This is a fact.
This is a fantasy.
They have to have Nimrod to bring the Antichrist forth. Please go watch Babylon Rising by Rob Skiba or read the book or his other work on this. He has done many videos and books and backs his work up and uses scripture too. He's not the only one that knows this and had vetted these things out. I pray, if you didn't already know this, that it helps you continue on your quest for truth. Now, that term Babylon Rising instantly flagged to me as interesting because
what doesn't flag to you as interesting? I will absolutely be stunned if you could tell me what doesn't come across as interesting. So let me make sure I got this right. And Gary, you might not, because you don't watch this, and you definitely are more concerned about your mental health than clearly I am.
Oh no, I've watched it.
But you don't.
Yep.
One of the things I noticed is that the beginning of her show is the longest portion of her show. Kind of like the news, it's the large. It might be like 20 minutes long, and then she'll do an ad read. Then she'll come back to another segment, which is smaller, and then another ad read, and then she does comments. So this is, dare I say, the most valuable. If you were looking at a newspaper, this is the above the fold section of the news, the most important stuff that she wants to get out. And she's talking about reincarnating Nimrod, the Nephilim, and Babylon falling. Okay. Gotcha.
So hold on real quick. I just happened to Google real quick Babylon Rising by Tim LaHaye, Greg Dillinello, which I'm assuming is what she's talking about. These are novels that are described as fact-based thrillers focused on biblical prophecy, such as The Search for Brazen Serpent, action-adventure thriller series featuring archaeologist Michael Murphy, who authenticates Bible prophecies while uncovering artifacts and fighting evil forces. All right, so this is the equivalent of the Da Vinci Code. All right, I'm just
Left Behind series. Yeah,
this is not factual. This is fiction. I'm going to do some more research on this just to. But I thought people should know that going into this.
Yeah, and I'm looking. I don't see anything that looks like what. And it's funny because she'll probably pull this up. She'll probably go with the Tim LaHaye, because Tim LaHaye also did the Left Behind series. So she'll probably run with it and never do any research. Never do it. Let's go.
I've been speaking to you about what the elite practice, and it's telling you, but this goes back to the Sumerian tablets. Ha ha ha! Project Looking Glass. They freaked out when I discussed that. This idea of these occultists, Babylon Rising, the names of their books, this Babylonian magic, it's a theme that just keeps cropping up, whether you're referring to Aleister Crowley or Jack Parsons. So I went, wait a second. Because we never really did get an answer for what we were doing in Iraq, you know? The email happens to check out. Surely enough, back in 2002, a group of German geophysicists began making trips into modern-day Iraq to map out what they believed they had discovered, which was ancient Iraq that aligned with the ancient texts of Gilgamesh. I'm going to show you this headline because I honestly, this is like unbelievable. Two German geophysicists, one named Georg Fassbinder and Helmut Becker, they were working for the Bavarian State Conservation Office in Munich, and they began using magnetic mapping to discover the old city. And suddenly they go, wait a second, this is his tomb. When exactly did they find it? We know for sure that it was sometime between May 2002 and very early 2003. They became convinced that indeed they had found the actual tomb of Gilgamesh, also, like I said, known as Nimrod in the Bible. This is within the exact timeline that we make a decision to invade Iraq. It's going to get even more insane. So it's February 5th, 2003. Colin Powell publicly states, rather notoriously now infamously states, that Iraq possessed weapons of mass destruction. He's holding up the anthrax. He's addressing the United Nations Security Council. Okay. Then, that quickly, next month on March 20th, 2003, we invade Iraq. The public is informed a couple of weeks thereafter, the BBC, so state arm, that Fassbinder indeed had made the discovery of Gilgamesh's tomb. And conveniently, well, guess what our boys did? They were there. They happened to make their military base at that exact location. Like, this is just incredible. Colin Powell publicly states there's weapons of mass destruction during his address, and then bam, there we are on top of Babylon. Well, what exactly were we doing there?
Oh, I just want to know, what exactly are we doing here? I don't know what we were doing there, Gary. I just want to know what we're doing here. What is she talking about?
Well, she's making the case that because something that she's going to allege is true, everything that she now alleges is true. That's what she does. It's like, you have to believe this or you're denying that JFK was assassinated by his own government or conspiracy or the Jews or whatever else. It's like, that's what she's doing. She's making a case that says, hey, you know what? If this is true, then this is true. I'm going to take the merits of this example And we're going to apply that over here to what I'm saying about all the craziness with Charlie Kirk, which I don't even know which of her conspiracies she's trying to confirm because she jumped to so many. I mean, is it just me or she abandoned the French Foreign Legion narrative altogether?
Well,
I haven't heard her talk.
Hold on, let me pull up the. Hold on, I have something for that, and I haven't been keeping up on it. I actually have lost track because it was 37 days since Candace last reported on the French hit on her life. I don't lost track. We might be like up to 50 now. But to your point, you're 1,000% correct. She hasn't even talked about that. Like, that would seem like that would be a bigger deal than the Epic of Gilgamesh.
And so what she's saying is because I can find evidence over here to this, I have no evidence to this. So I'm going to apply, I'm going to convince you this is true with evidence. And then I'm going to convince you that this is true without evidence because this is true. That's what she's doing. And her, clapping like seal lemmings of followers will just be like, oh, that's great. She's so smart. She's brilliant. Oh, go up and
she brings the receipts.
Yeah.
Like, what receipts has she brought?
Receipts. Do you see all the receipts? This is full receipts. I mean, we've had so many receipts already. I don't know where
we're drowning in receipts.
Like we saw 9/11, Building 7, passports, Gilgamesh, Nimrod, lots of receipts.
Yeah. And I keep telling people, like, notice how much information she brings. She's already, look how much information she's already brought into this conversation, which is crazy. All right, let's go.
Other than, the obligatory mass murdering, plundering ancient Christian civilizations and structures, a million Iraqi civilians that were killed. That's a given. We just are always destroying Christian relics, but because we have to destroy history. They have to destroy history.
I'm sorry, brother.
I was just saying it's not a given. There's that number of million Iraqis is widely debated.
Exactly. Right. Absolutely.
She's going to state any speculation as fact, so it really doesn't. That's the least of our problems. It's probably the most factual thing she's actually said, even though it's not factual.
History. But in retrospect, I have to say that I gotta stand for my boy Colin Powell looking into this, because I think he told the truth that they were indeed searching for weapons of mass destruction, but of a spiritual caliber, mass spiritual destruction. It is absolutely not a conspiracy. You can look us up yourself that we, like I told you, set up our military base, Camp Alpha, right on top of ancient Babylon. Our boys then began digging. They said that the reason that they chose this place was because they wanted to protect the site from looters. Except, I guess, the military guys got confused at the top. They accidentally started doing the looting. The instructions just weren't clear over there. This is actually a United Nations article published in 2009 when we had to confess our sins before the world. It reads in part, quote, Babylon was the capital city for two famous kings of antiquity, Hammurabi, who introduced one of the world's first law codes, and of course, Nebuchadnezzar. Partially excavated over the last century, much of ancient Babylon, which lies 90 kilometers south of Baghdad, remains undiscovered. Now, according to a 2005 British Museum report, the use of Babylon as a camp by a multinational force between April 2003 and December of 2004, by coalition forces is, quote, tantamount to establishing a military camp around the Great Pyramid in Egypt, or the Stonehenge in Britain. Tells us later that Babylon was indeed plundered during the 2003 war, when contents from Hammurabi and Nebuchadnezzar museums and from the Babylon Library and Archive were stolen and destroyed. Oh, well, did we just go to war because we wanted to go on an archaeological dig? And we actually weren't allowed to do that because it was discovered and it belonged to people in Iraq. So they were like, weapons of mass destruction. We're going to need to go there and set up camp and do some digging. Sure enough, that's what the locals said they did. And they just transported things out of there. This is from NBC News. It tells us that a senior U.S. military officer has said that he's willing to apologize for damage that his troops caused in one of Iraq's most famous ancient sites. The British Broadcasting Corp reported Friday that after the 2003 invasion of Iraq, U.S. Marines built a helicopter pad on the ruins of Babylon and filled their sandbags with archaeological fragments from the ancient city. It said vibrations from U.S. helicopters caused the roof of one of the buildings.
Sorry, brother.
No, so a couple of things that people need to realize here, and I was just double checking this to confirm it. When we first rolled into Baghdad, which I was part of that force, I remember hearing this on the ground. I was in Baghdad for, I don't know, like a week or so when we first hit. And then we ended up going up to Talafar and I'm trying to think of the other northern city. Anyways, point being is I remember hearing during that, look, the looters that were looting Babylon were the locals. The allegation is that we caused significant historical damage by being there and setting up a camp around the area of Babylon. But in Baghdad, the Baghdad, it was like the Baghdad History Museum. I don't know what the actual name of it was called.
Mm-hmm.
That was completely looted during our invasion by locals. And I just looked this up just so we know. And I looked this up. I said, who looted Babylon during the Iraq War? Babylon was primarily damaged and looted following the 2003 U.S.-led invasion to Iraq, with significant destruction caused by the establishment of U.S. military bases Camp Alpha on the site. While local looters took advantage of the security vacuum, reports indicate U.S. forces caused extensive damage by digging trenches, compacting soil, and driving heavy machinery over archaeological ruins. But the actual looting, stealing of artifacts, was indeed the locals that did it. They understand the historical significance of what was going on. I don't doubt that U.S. troops took like different, if there was fragments of different archaeological pieces there and things like that. I don't doubt that.
Yeah.
Like we saw that all over Iraq. Iraq is one of the most historic areas in the world. So anyways, I don't doubt that. But the actual looting of the Baghdad Museum was all locals, and the actual looting of artifacts of Babylon was also locals, just so we're clear. And I'm sure there was some looting done by soldiers too, but it was very insignificant compared to everything else that went on.
And just to follow along with you, what does this have to do with what we're talking about, allegedly about Charlie Kirk? And that's why I think she's just literally somebody said it. She's out of time. She's out of content. This is non-tent because it's literally like, okay, fine. We can have this discussion. Gary's shedding knowledge. We can do some research, find out some new things, but that has nothing to do with what this allegedly was about, which is about what happened to Charlie Kirk, which, by the way, I don't think she's ever theorized what actually happened to Charlie Kirk. But let's go.
To collapse. We were not there to protect ancient ruins. We were there to plunder and to loot and to steal.
Wow.
Right after we discover that Gilgamesh's tomb is in this city. Locals reported that at night Americans were digging and they were extracting in military operations. But to where? That's the question. Where did they take Nimrod's remains? Why do they want them? What do you guys think they're trying to do with Nimrod's body? Time for you guys to wake up, really wake up, and to understand that many of us are kind of coming out of a fog. Certainly me. Never forget who Nimrod was in the Bible, right? Nimrod was the original one world government guy seeking to unite humanity under the Tower of Babel, one system created in defiance of the creator, one world government. This is why the mystery cults, they revere Nimrod. Freemasons revere Nimrod. In Masonic tradition, Nimrod is considered to be the first Grand Master.
One of the things that Candace does quite a bit, and I said it today, I did an episode kind of recapping what she said yesterday. I said Candace is very good at pointing out evil. I think it's because she just looks in the mirror. I don't know. But she's very good at identifying what she thinks is evil or what is evil or what's suspect or what could be considered strange or odd or out of place. She's very good at that. But she gives no solutions. None whatsoever. None whatsoever. And if you are a Cantifa member, by the way, please make sure that you know Cantifa, you got a seat right up here in the front of the church. She doesn't give you any solution. She points out the obvious. Sure, there are sinners in the world because that's what we do. We sin. And we do it in all different shapes, sizes, and colors, all kinds of flavors. And the problem is she doesn't give you a solution. And I would love for somebody in Cantifa to ask her, what is the solution? Okay, fine. You pointed out this evil. What's the solution? What is the real solution? I would love to hear what is her solution for the problem. Because she's only pointing out the problem. When I was a second grade teacher, the students knew that there was a certain rule with Mr. Whitaker. Don't bring me problems. I have enough of them. Bring me your solution and we'll evaluate whether or not your solution was the right thing to do.
Well, I mean, this even goes back to the original crux of the matter, and that is the Charlie Kirk assassination. Never once has she given us any mechanics. She can sit there and say that the French Foreign Legion killed Charlie, the Jews killed Charlie, but never once has she been able to tell us how. Like, I know we got Baron Coleman and some of her other surrogates out there now trying to convince people that the microphone that Charlie Kirk was holding is holding him, and that I guess an exploding mic caused the injury on his neck. But beyond that, I haven't even heard that she ascribes to that. But what she's never been able to do is like, okay, if it was somebody else, how did they do it? How did the French Foreign Legion do it? Like, you have to give me an alternative to believe. Don't just say, oh, no, it wasn't Tyler Robinson. He was never on campus, even though we got DNA evidence, even though we got video surveillance evidence, even though that we now definitely have phone evidence, being able to track him exactly where he's at. Like, forget about all that. Forget about the circumstantial evidence that he was 3.5 hours away. Forget about the fact that he had a firearm there that he brought from home. One of the other things that I pointed out, I don't know if you saw this, but she covered up the fact that her own sources told her that he went to go shop for a firearm after he left. But she did cover that because, again, what she wants to do is omit information. She just wants to cause confusion. She doesn't want to give you any explanation, and she definitely doesn't want to say, oh, well, actually, the shot came from over here, or yes, he was electrocuted and had an exploding mic that doesn't make sense, that defies physics. Like, none of that has to make sense. She doesn't have to give you an explanation of what actually took place, or as you're stating, a solution. She just has to create the confusion and the chaos to make it to where you don't believe what's being said.
Yeah, and I agree with you 100% there, but I was just saying, like, fine, you pointed out some evil mystery cult. What is your solution for this evil people that demonically worship Satan or Gilgamesh or Nimrod or whatever? What is your solution for them? They need the gospel just the same as the person that jaywalked across the street needs the gospel. Just like the person that did this crime, they need the gospel. I need the gospel. You need the gospel. All God's children need the gospel. It's like, what is your solution, Candace? And I would love for somebody from Cantifa to explain, and I've put the bounty out there. Give me a video of her explaining the gospel. I will play it without any edits. If you can give me a video of her actually explaining what the gospel is. How one goes from being a sinner, an enemy of God, to being in Christ, a friend of God. I would love to hear that.
Have you ever heard her once say, hey, folks, you out there that are watching, the millions of people that are watching my platform, me as a Catholic, I believe that you need to give your life to Jesus. You need to confess your sins, and you need to start walking with God. Never once has she done anything like that. And I think that is very indicative of what she truly is. And that's not a Christian.
So, yeah, I'm keeping it out there, and I want people to realize it, because eventually Cantifa is going to wake up. Now, I don't, like I said, the Lord has got to deal with Candace. Candace is in God's hands. Cantifa, y'all the only ones I'm worried about at this moment. All right, let's get done.
This is all very real. It should shock you. We probably like yes, absolutely.
Shock you, Gary.
And so people then dug up, and this got a bit confused, by the way. So I should clarify that there was this still never quite explained FOIA request that went through to the State Department requesting documents pertaining to the resurrection chamber of Gilgamesh, the location of his body and the location of the buried Nephilim. Who are we talking about? Who are we speaking about when we refer to these people, the fallen angels? Guys, I am telling you, and this is not a part of Catholic canon, but you are allowed to read it.
Gary, you know what I find is adorable? Is that Candace can talk about an FOI request for the Lazarus pit. Shout out to Batman, if anybody knows about the Lazarus pit, for Gilgamesh. But you know what FOI she's never asked for, Gary?
What's that?
An FOI on whether or not Sergeant Long told Brian Harpole that they could not fly drones that day. Why does she not ask for the information to prove that what Brian Harpole said, what TPUSA said about how they planned their event? Why is she not pulled up? Because those are freedom of information things that she could be able to get that information on and settle this argument. We're done. The whole drone argument, Brian Harpole, you're good for nothing lowdown. I got evidence that says the contrary. or it'll be evidence to prove it. Why has she not done that, FYI? But we're over here talking about the Lazarus pit and whether or not Damian Wayne is going to get put in the Lazarus pit and come back again. Like, what in the world are we talking about? I'm sorry.
All great questions.
Let's go.
And you should read it. I read it on a plane. I don't even know what was going through my mind where I decided I needed to read the book of Enoch. I think it is so important to read the book of Enoch.
It really
and
isn't.
to read about the fallen angels. That this is your real history. I'm sorry to tell you guys, you're not a dinosaur. Okay, you weren't a dinosaur. You're not just like floating. Thank you, Katy Perry, but you're not like a plastic bag floating through the wind. I didn't really ever find that line to be relatable at all. I never felt that way. This is all very real, and the elites have held on to this. They destroy history because they don't want you to know this. They envision a world like Nimrod. One world government. They are going to be the gods. You will have no sense of where you come from. You will have no sense of your history, and your souls will be completely perverted and corrupted by them. That is what they are doing. So people always ask.
So what would be how would you stop that, Candace? How do we stop that? They said they're going to destroy your soul. How do we stop that? What kind of action can take place to change that situation? I just wonder, Candace.
Why I'm always so happy and so positive. How is it possible that the Epstein files can drop and I maintain a happy attitude? In the comments yesterday, I saw this of like, well, what do we do? What do we do now that we know this is real and they're practicing this? Well, you have to also consider the other thing. They're doing this because God is real. That I feel like that's like the best message ever. How could you not be happy recognizing that they are just betting against God like they always do? These people want to recreate Babylon. Okay, this is the story of Hollywood. Hollywood, Babylon, read the books. They have always been obsessed with this, but who are they contending with? God. And I feel like many people, myself included, go through a period where you wonder, and that's intentional, of course, like I said, because they've stripped our true history and we're not even where we're supposed to be. Like, we're in America. How did we get here? We know nothing about ourselves. And you go through this period where you question whether or not God's real. And I certainly thought, no. Well, coming out of high school, all of it, that's just...
What are you talking about? What in the world? This poor woman. Somebody's been saying that they think she's on enhancements, if you will, pharmaceutical grade enhancements. I can't argue with this. I don't understand. No, just because you had a crisis of conscience doesn't mean that other people did, or that it was the exact same. She does seem to put everybody in the same category, that everybody should behave a certain way. Does that make sense?
No, she's determined that she's the arbiter of what's normal, even though that she has very limited life experience. I think that's very obvious from everything that she's ever said. And so, that's how she views the world. She doesn't understand the military, so therefore the military is always suspicious.
Yeah,
is always good. They're automatically, no matter what level of military that you were in, you're automatically tied to the deepest, darkest, most nefarious elements of the U.S. government that they'd never have access to. So she doesn't know what normal is, and this.
I don't think so.
She doesn't know what normal looks like. She self-determines this through her very myopic view of the world, and anything that she doesn't understand, anything that's out, and then she reads all these crazy books. Like I loved reading conspiracy theory books and things of the unexplained growing up. But even as a child, I understand, hey, most of this stuff isn't real. This is the gospel. This isn't the Bible. And there's a reason why, the book of Enoch is not included into the canon of the scripture.
There's a reason,
that has been debated, discussed. The book of Enoch in of itself was not written in the time that it said it was. There's a lot of good reasons not to trust the validity of the book of Enoch. And, there's lots of people that have addressed that.
But Candace read it on a plane, Gary, and she read about the falling angels. And Gary, you're just a meanie head. You're just a meanie guy.
Like my grandparents were into that. That's the old world. We're the cool world. And then you get to an age and you get to a point where you recognize, oh yeah, God's definitely real. And we've been asleep. We've been the muggles. They know he's real. And you want to spell the end of this satanic reign, everything that they have been doing and the blood that they have been shedding. It's our awakening. It's our awareness. So you should be happy. You should be encouraged. This stuff shouldn't scare you. You should be happy to know that this isn't it. And the reason why they want people to be selfish, the reason why they want us to be atheist, why they have been so intentional about making sure they fill us with nonsense and junk and no sense of true history, why they protect the field of archaeology. They don't ever want us to be the ones to find something and learn something about history that's real. The reason that
Wow. I'm just going to take Gary, I have no idea what we're watching. It's so bad, Gary doesn't even want to say anything. That's how bad I know it is. Gary's like, okay, I'm just going to let it ride.
It pains my heart. And it makes me lose so much faith in Americans that people are watching this and they're on the edge of their seat and they're like, oh my God, this woman is revolutionary. Like, she is so well read. She is so smart. She is
so dialed in.
I mean, the wisdom pouring out of her mouth, like the fountain of youth. I like, that's the problem that I have with it. There's so many people that are taking any of this seriously. And, you know, it's a little crazy to watch. Every time I watch her and I listen to and read the comments of her supporters, I feel like I'm taking crazy pills. And, you know, that's the thing I think that you and I have to sit back and realize is that, and hopefully many of you out there, is like, we're not trying to convert her people, because there is no converting these people. And quite frankly, I'm not sure that it would do whatever cause that we're a part of any benefit, right?
Okay.
Like, we are reaching the sensible among us. That's the only people that we're reaching.
Right.
And that's what you have to realize. And you know, hopefully the things that you and I do and other people out there that are speaking out against her and pointing out the problems with what she's saying, hopefully it prevents people from dipping their toe into this and getting converted into this nonsense. And there is a small portion of her followers that are kind of listening. And I know there's lots of people out there. I see them all the time. They're like, hey, I used to listen to her up until this point. I think Fort Huachuca was a big turning point for a lot of people. But there's many people before that. So, like, you know, we're definitely having an impact. But, you know, a lot of these people we don't want on our team because they're gonna cause more problems than they contribute.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair. Y'all, I realized that she was literally up on a commercial read, her first commercial break. So I actually jumped up to the end. So just so we can catch up a little bit, because we got quite a few supers I would like to check out and such like that. So I did kind of speed it up. I don't think anybody in this chat is going to be mad that I moved it up. Oh, and by the way, shout out to the freeze frame. My freeze frame game has been getting pretty solid. I don't try this, but it does work like that. All right, let's go. And you know, hold on, wait. I'm sorry. I just said I was going to start. This is a great point. This is an excellent point. Do your research on Candace Owens and her background. When Charlie Kirk met Candace Owens was praying to the universe. She was praying to the stars. She did not believe in a God.
Yep.
That was right at the beginning of when her quote unquote conversion into believing in God, and eventually alleged that she's a Christian and then converted into Catholicism, is all relatively new within the last 6-7 years. That's her whole trajectory. Before then, she was praying to the stars. So as you're listening to this, ask yourself, what type of person am I listening to? Am I listening to a star prayer or somebody that's been impacted by the gospel? Just something to think about. Thank you so much for bringing that up, Natalie, because you made a great point. I wanted to talk about that earlier. Okay, let's get done with this, man, because I almost want to rather talk about Epstein.
Potentially resurrecting Nimrod, which I totally believe, given this Babylonian magic theme of the occult and the rituals, it correlates right there. And because I'm not, like I said, like plastic bag flowing through the wind, and I'm now aware of history, and I believe in God, and I obviously know these people are satanic, it gives new meaning to this sort of military cult, because that is also a corollary that I have built. It's like constantly the military. So much involvement, even in the Charlie Kirk story, like just everywhere. I said I don't know when Turning Point just became a literal military operation, but indeed it did. All these people with very strong ties to the military, his wife included, right? Her mother in particular. I want to speak about Erica's alibi on September 10th. And I'm going to put it out there that I do not believe it. I do not believe we are being told the truth regarding her alibi. I have, at least I can say, I guess the best way to say it is, I now officially have some serious questions pertaining to her alibi.
I need Cantifa. Well, remember, Mitch Snow told you what happened. So the fact that you now are reevaluating your alibi, and I don't know, maybe she's going to correlate it with Mitch Snow's, try to line it up. But I think this is very interesting. And I just want y'all to think about this. Who told her this information? Did Erica, do you honestly want me to believe that Erica sat down on December 15th and told her this information? Because you're probably looking up at your clock and saying, wait, it's February 3rd. So she's been sitting on this for almost 2 months. I think she's making it up out of whole cloth. I think she's totally making it up. Just straight line.
And these question marks are really regarding her mother, Lori France Faye. I have been working through Erica's life, and when you start to do that and build a timeline, it inevitably leads you to her mother, who I believe is very shady. She has a number of LLCs, and when I say a number, I mean it's almost incalculable, the amount of LLCs, trying to figure out what exactly this does, the technology, connections from France to...
So you know what she's doing, right?
I'm not even going to assume. I'm just in receive mode at this point. I just want to hear where this goes for sure.
No, she knows that Erica Kurt's mom and Erica are very close. Sure. And that Erica Kurt's mom is on the down. She's definitely apparently she's on the downswing of life. She's got definitely fewer days ahead than she has behind.
Sure.
So why not drag her mom through this so Erica has to see comments about people saying these horrible things about her mom as she gets ready to say goodbye to the woman that birthed her, raised her, all these wonderful things that moms do for daughters. And that's what she's doing. She's just trying to really get, like, I'm going to get right in those ribs. I'm going to get this dagger right in these ribs by dogging your mom out. That is some weapon grade evil from somebody who just said that there are evil people out here in occults and blah, 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 and they want you to be atheists. But she can't tell you how does one change that situation. This is evil. Okay, let's just go. I'm gonna stop stopping.
To Arizona, to Cincinnati, to Massachusetts. And I realized something about her mother. First and foremost, I told you that when we met, that was the only time that I sensed very strong emotion from her was in mentioning her mother. But I do realize now that it seems to me to be an intentional effort to protect Erica's mother throughout this entire thing.
Oh, imagine that. Oh my God.
Even September 10th.
What an evil
Leading
person.
Up to September 10th, Erica did something.
And her natural reaction is to protect her. Like, B word, don't bring my mother into this. That's probably what when
it's being said somewhere. Right.
That's like, don't you even dare bring my mother into this. That imagine that she would like to protect her aging mother. And like she's lost everything. She's being accused of murder by this vile,
crazy
person.
Right.
And like now you're bringing up her mother while you're trying to talk to her. Never mind that you were sitting on the Fort Huachuca story and you didn't have the guts to bring it up. Like, hey, oh, by the way, where were you on the 8th? Because there's somebody that I'm about to bring on. Like she already had that when she was meeting with Erica.
Mm-hmm.
But she didn't have the guts to bring it up then.
Yeah, this woman is
this woman knows no low. Like there is not a place that she won't go to make a buck and to defame somebody else. Defamation, slander, libel, character assassination, these are the currencies in which she operates. And it's and the fact that there are Americans, this is the other thing, the fact that Americans are sitting there watching this and you're not disgusted by it, shame on you. You have zero conscience. You have nothing left.
Yeah. All right, let's go. I'm sorry.
That is, it's unusual. It was unusual in terms of the manner in which Erica normally posts. She does not typically post her mother. She is private about her mother. She's always been very private about her mother, actually. If you ask people at Turning Point USA, they don't know her mother, despite the fact that her mother sits on the board of companies related to Turning Point USA, despite the fact that her mother is involved with sort of the geofencing and things of that nature. What is that specific company called? Superfeed Technologies. despite the fact that her mother was, present next to Erica in 2015 when she was standing behind Trump. They don't know Erica's mother. Superfree Technologies, Tyler Boyer knows her, but she kind of keeps her in the background. So it was unusual, and I can tell you exactly how unusual. Erica had not posted anything about her mom since 2022. Then, despite the last post being in April of 2022 on Mother's Day.
You know what? And this is just how inconsistent Candace is. Candace never posts about her sister. We don't ever see pictures about your sister. Every time she has a major event, she brings up her sister. She had to bring her sister to meet Erica. She had to call her sister. Her sister had to come in because she was having a meltdown about Charlie. Every time she brings up something, it's her sister. We don't know your sister, Candace, and she's a stalwart, a mason of your company, your organization. Like, why don't we know that? Why don't we know your last name? Because your last name isn't Owens.
Why don't we know more about George Farmer? How come we don't know his entire timeline? Like, we know that he allegedly was accused of SA against another man, or at least harassment, I believe. No, I think it was actually SA.
I thought it was SA, but watch this. How about you clarify that for us, Candace? Was it SA or was it accused SA? What was it? Help us out. But we're supposed to dig into the weeds because Erica is protecting her aging mother, and because of her aging mother, what does this got to do with Charlie Kirk? Never mind.
She did a post for her mother. I believe it was Mother's Day. Fast forward to 2025, and she moves on September 7th, just 3 days before Charlie dies. She doesn't just post her mother. She posts her mother in an incredibly vulnerable position. Her mother looks to be very sick. And she posts, I wanted to make sure that you were the first. And if you're looking at this, you're glancing at this, it's a countdown of some description. And she says 10 days until September 16th. Now, we don't know what that 10-day countdown was pertaining to because obviously things changed. In fact, September 16th is actually when she hosted her first Zoom call with as the new CEO and chairman. But I'm sure there was some other plan that was there. Again, unusual even for people who are private on Instagram. I mean, even for people who are very public, sharing everything, who overshare on Instagram, you don't want to post someone in such a vulnerable position. Like, that's not how you want to use Instagram.
So notice, and I just want to point this out. Notice she's telling you how to use Instagram, and she knows she is the gatekeeper of what is normal, what is not normal, what is proper behavior, as if everybody does exactly what she does, which is crazy work. Okay.
This is not her and Charlie. When it comes to their private life, they're actually exceedingly private. You don't see photos of their children. So this was new. This was different. This was exceptional, I think, is something that we can say. We fast forward just a few days to September 10th, and we learn, one of the people that told us this was the New York Times, that on September 10th, Erica was at the hospital while her mother was receiving treatments. Now, that hospital word came from the New York Times. It was not a direct quotation from Erica, but they said that she was in the hospital when Mikey McCoy called her, quote unquote.
But would that be inconsistent? So now the woman has to prove that she was in the hospital with her mom, when in the picture that you just invaded and showed us, she looked like she was in the hospital with her mom. Like, why does somebody have to prove that? That's some nasty work, man. You don't despise Candace enough.
Within seconds, we later learned that actually that phone call did not come in within seconds. Actually, Mikey called his wife first. So much for that training that Charlie allegedly gave him. This is what you do immediately. Walk away and call your wife, and then call Erica 3 minutes later, 3+ minutes later, and then add Erica to the line while your wife is on the phone. I'm not really buying that, but okay.
That's not what she said when she came back.
Brief call, a couple of minutes, and then we are told that.
But what is not buying it? What are they selling?
Yeah,
what are they selling that you're not buying allegedly?
So first of all, Mikey McCoy is what, 21, 22?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
I mean, this is a kid that just watched his friend brutally murdered, and Yeah, he's probably upset, doesn't know what's going on, calls his wife and like, hey, it also, just like he said it. He's like, hey, I knew this was going to get out. I wanted to call my wife and make sure that's be the first thing that I called. Hey, I want to call and make sure that you know that I'm okay. And then, hey, you know what? Now I got to call Erica Kirk. Hey,
stay on the line. Like,
he might have been an emotional wreck. He might not even been able to talk. For all I know, I don't know what his disposition is. He definitely has never gone through anything like that. I mean, Mikey McCoy is just like Candace, has lived an extremely sheltered life. Like, these are not people that deal with death, destruction, that have done these types of things, that were law enforcement or military prior to. Probably wasn't handling it too well. All right. He probably was talking out of his head. Who knows what was going on? But he just experienced something extremely traumatic, is on the phone with his wife and like, hey, you know, maybe his wife suggested it. Hey, why don't we call her together? And so we can both talk to her and comfort her.
Yeah.
She's a friend of ours. Like,
the fact that
about where she constantly turns normal things into suspicious behavior because she wants it to be suspicious, because she wants you, the viewer, to believe that it is crazy. Nobody would do this thing. Tyler would never say vehicle, even though he says vehicle 40 seconds later. You know, he's you know, jumping up on top of the roof like Spider-Man. Like, it is all lies, deception, information operations. It's all propaganda. And it's just like that girl in high school. Oh, look what she's doing. Oh, look how she carries her bag. Oh, look at the jewelry she wears. Look how she did her makeup. Isn't she disgusting? Look at the people that she hangs out with. This is all the same thing. It's childish. It's immature. It's illogical. And the people that buy into it, you're morons. You're morons.
Yeah. I mean, good luck with that. I mean, going to keep living like that. And I just pray that you are never on the receiving end of this type of vile, vitriolic, evil behavior, where you're being accused of something in the midst of a horrible event that you have nothing to do with. And you're being accused of something by just some Yahoo out there, and is stirring up all of this craziness in your HOA, stirring up all this craziness at the school board about you in the event of something that you had nothing to do with. I pray that that never happens to you. And I do pray that you open your eyes and see this evil woman for what she is. She's totally evil and deranged. And what you're buying into is not only just like Cantifa slop, but it's evil, vitriolic craziness. But let's finish this up, man.
She left her mother, who was receiving a medical treatment, and then she collapsed in the parking lot. Now, I got suddenly interested in this narrative for a couple of reasons, all because I then realized her mother was used again in an alibi when I was contacting Justin Strife, trying to figure out what Erica was doing on September 8th, just wanting some sort of an alibi, and it kept getting delayed. And I was told that her mother was very, very sick, and that was the reason why, and that she was spending her days in the hospital with her mother. I can confirm that the message that he sent me, certainly the lighting does not look like she is in a hospital. It looks like she's where she is there, which is at her apartment building. And also what I can now confirm to you for a fact is that the mother was receiving treatment not at a hospital, but at a sort of holistic clinic, if you will. And again, this is one of those situations where you go, you wouldn't normally speak about the health of somebody's mother, but you're putting us in the casket with Charlie. We have a right to ask where he's buried.
Wow. I just got to take a second to recoup on that. Wow. Man, that lady's evil. You don't despise Candace.
You're going to put us in this very vulnerable position with your mother. I guess it's okay for us to discuss your mother's illnesses, because this was a post, right? I would never, ever, ever, ever post this. I find that to be, again, I also wouldn't post somebody in a casket, but different strokes for different folks. What is interesting to me is I have known for a while, she's not lying about her mother having Lyme disease. That's what her mother has. I know this because I talked to Charlie about this. Charlie, once upon a time, he and I spoke extensively about how he was flying out her mother to do treatments for Lyme disease overseas because there was better treatment in Europe, options available. Bella Hadid posts a lot about this. Her, and I think her brother as well, have Lyme disease, and she sometimes she goes overseas and she posts about different medical treatments that they have available in Europe. So I was aware that her mother had Lyme disease. That totally passed the test for me. But I think the reason why we were sort of given this kind of nondescript thing and we were led to believe that she was in a hospital was because then wouldn't ask the next natural question, which is why didn't she go with Erica to Utah? Like, you're with your mom when you hit the news. Why not instantly go with your daughter to Utah? So we were led to believe that she was in a condition where she could not do this. I find that to be interesting, especially because I have learned, and I believe this is accurate, that on September 8th, we can pull up the timeline here, that Charlie took Erica's mother for a treatment for Lyme disease at a clinic. I have the address, the name of the clinic. I'm not going to be publishing that because I don't think that that's relevant at this time. But it makes September 8th really interesting because I am told that these treatments, and again, these are holistic treatments that you can go to at a center. There's all sorts of things that you can get done now for Lyme disease and other diseases. I am told that these treatments last between 1 to 2 hours, okay? 1 on the short end, then up to 2 hours. And yeah, you could, if you wanted, get an intense treatment on the 8th, followed by on the 10th, 2 days later. So I don't need to question that narrative. But I am starting to look at Charlie's schedule because Charlie came back from Korea and Tokyo, his trip, very late, almost early morning on September 8th, very late on the 7th. We know when he landed into California. And then
this is just gross. Hey, Gary.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm sorry, team. Yeah, listening to this woman bloviate about somebody's schedule with these mommy sleuth busybody dumpster divers that she has in her cadre. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. My name is Jason. If you have a problem, concern, or question, you can email management, dearwokec@gmail.com. I will gladly entertain all your complaints. Here, let me put it in the chat. I'm sorry. This is just gross. I'm just thinking, like, imagine having to answer to this crazy, foaming at the mouth lunatic. This passes my test. Like, what are you talking about? Who are you? And I do fault to some degree. Turning Point, I don't think they should have stopped talking to Candace soon after Charlie Kirk, after the memorial. They should have stopped engaging with her completely and totally. So anybody that's interacting with her, I don't know, you might get a black eye tomorrow. I'm sorry. Justin, Andrew, y'all might right in the eyeball. But this is just ridiculous, man. I'm sorry. I'm going to cut it and see if I feel a little bit better, Gary, because like it just doesn't make sense. But you know what also does make sense is that Laura has been a member for 8 months and she's saying blah, 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 blah. I agree. That's how I feel. Gary, is that how you feel about this?
I mean, it's impossible to even keep up with her incoherent babbling. Like, I can't believe that is
this is not the crack addict down at the bus station.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's a great analogy right there.
Because you do realize that we started out with Babylon and the golden serpent and finding Nimrod. Now we are looking at, okay, I just want you to remember that.
We found the Nimrod.
We did find a Nimrod. We did find a Nimrod. Thank you all, you guys, for all you guys do, Jay and Gary. Thanks so much. Let us know if you want us to do this on a regular basis. Gary and I were considering doing a show probably once a week or several times a month, just chopping it up. Maybe I think I know I can read Gary's mind. It will not be about Candace. I will tell you that much. It will not be a watch party. Gary is trying to keep himself under composure. He's like, Jason, don't you do this again to me. We've stayed so far from Egyptian planes are the key. Right. Remember, Egyptian planes were the key to solving this entire whatever happened to Charlie Kirk. Egyptian planes. And now planes are off the plate. They're off of it.
Where did the planes go? Where did the interactive timeline of the planes that she was saying that she's going to put on her website? Where did that go? Where did the French Foreign Legion go? Where did the death threats from the French to Candace? What happened with that? Is she no longer in jeopardy? Like,
doesn't even talk about it. She's just living life.
And that's the thing. Like, she doesn't go back and clarify any of this stuff. Like, there's no. Again, it's all incoherent babble.
Badly.
And it's all meant to cause confusion, chaos, and suspicion to people that have nothing. Like, it can't be more clear that Erica is the victim in all of this, and the fact that she's going after her and re-victimizing the victim and
That's
blaming
crazy
the
word.
victim.
Yeah.
I don't know how the average, decent, common American can sit back that's following her and say, like, this is okay. But the problem is that, again, this didn't happen in one day. There was a time when when she was staying away from Erica, it was incrementalism. She started planting seeds of Erica's bad, a little here, a little there, a little there. And then she gets to a culmination point to where it's like, yep, now we can look at Erica and say that she was the one that was intimately involved with the murder of Charlie Kirk. Like, there's no way that would have went over immediately. Even though I think she was the target.
I think she was doing it from the beginning. Yeah.
She definitely was, but not overtly. And
that's fair. That's fair. I think, but no, I'm with you. I don't think we're in disagreement at all. I hate her. AQ is real, and they actually did it. And thank you so much, Phantom, for the very kind too. I appreciate you, brother. Always supporting what we're doing here. What does Heather say this? She says this with the 5. Candace is elevating the God of Islam while condemning the God of Israel. No lie. I mean, she can't say anything. She can't find anything to say about Islam when Charlie had threat.
She regularly defends Islam.
Regularly.
Yeah.
I mean, she had Bassem on there and they were defending it. Crazy word. B7 was a Fed building 7. It caught fire. The USG blocked it off because it had classified materials in it. The USG let the building burn because it was unstable. Thank you so much, Phantom, for the 5. To me, I don't even know why we're arguing about that today. I have no idea how Building 5 and 9/11 entered the chat. That is some crazy work.
Yep.
That's some crazy work. Grace and peace. Thank you so much for the 2. No question, no comment, just pure love of the game. I appreciate you, friend. What do we have here? This looks like Don't Bug Me with the 10 says, yes, she crowdsources hot topics, but she adds in an absolute flair of insanely hyperactive synopsis. No question. Yeah. She's completely insane and uses her flair to draw in the stupid people that come. I'm sorry, they can't see it. And thank you so much. Don't Bug Me for the 10, and I appreciate that. All right, what's Phantom say here? No, CIA was not involved in 9/11. That offends all of us who fought from the Gulf War. Is that greatest war of what's GWOT?
Global War on Terrorism.
Oh, Global War on Terrorism. There we go. By the way, debris from crashes can fly everywhere. Things like that happen. And no argument for me. Thank you, Phantom. I appreciate you, brother. Thank you very much for supporting the channel. Tammy says this with the 5. I was watching the hearing in Utah, and these evil people were in the chat saying horrible things about Erica. They're just spamming chats. Yeah. I wonder where they get it from. I kind of wonder what Megan and I kind of wonder what Brandon Tatum is saying now. Brandon Tatum, he caped for Candace. He still supported Candace up to most recently. I'd love to know where, and he supported allegedly Erica.
So
Go ahead.
Started off, it's a great question. He started off actually criticizing her quite a lot. And then what was it? There was something when she got the death threat and he talked to her. Suddenly he turned the opposite direction. When she allegedly got the death threat, he was like, yeah, send that information to me. I support Candace. I mean, he did a 180. And look, here's what I'll say. I know that Brandon and Candace know each other. I know that they text a lot. I don't know. There was an inexplicable 180-degree turn from what he was saying and criticizing Candace to completely supporting her and definitely not criticizing her. I haven't heard
Correct.
him say anything about Candace really since then. I was paying attention because I was like, hey, look, here's a friend of hers that is criticizing her. Thank God. And then all of a sudden he just went dark.
Yeah. And I don't know if you know this, but Brandon Tatum owns businesses outside of the Officer Tatum YouTube channel. Did you know that?
Sure. Yeah.
And you know that one of his businesses is merch sales. So like t-shirts and cups and all that kind of stuff like that. Did you know that?
No, I didn't know that.
Okay. So he so hats and koozies and, CIA, whatever, decentralized sweatshirts.
Candace Intelligence. Are you saying?
He actually I actually did the research. His company actually produces her content, her merch.
Gotcha.
So he has I dare say a messy history because he sells her stuff. He does the fulfillment for it. He prints it and ships it out. If you buy a coffee mug from her and you send it back, it goes back to Brandon Tatum's business. If it ships out, it comes from Brandon Tatum's business in Texas. So I feel like he might have a little bit more incentive to not be as forthright as we might imagine. But that was just my little observation. Okay, I'm gonna finish these up because
yeah, sure.
Daily Wire just dropped another video. I think we all enjoy the Daily Wire video more. 1313 says that she is nothing but a miserable grifter who will try and destroy others to make herself feel better. I don't disagree. I think she wanted to be Mrs. Charlie Kirk. I'm going to stand on that. And she's mad, angry, bitter, and upset that she's not. Phantom says this again with the 5. No one in the know back then thought Saudi Arabia would be behind it. My friends who saw the plane hit the Pentagon, I was 22. I was in the government then. Shout out. Thank you so much, Phantom. Always appreciate you supporting the channel. And he came back and spun the block again. He said this: Babylon Rising by Tim LaHaye is fiction, FYI. He meant it to be fiction, but she does not agree with LaHaye because he's a Christian Zionist. That is a good point. Tim LaHaye is your classical Christian Zionist. Yep. Which I think is very interesting, but she supports the book. I want to know when the Candies hit that book and they realize that who he is. I wonder what they're going to say. What we got here, Polo? Oh, Polo with the 15. Candace is a good friend and defender of Andrew Tate. Andrew has a tweet praising Epstein's game. If you Google Andrew Tate, Epstein tweet, you will find it. Oh my gosh. I don't expect her to be consistent. Do you ever expect her to be consistent?
No, I mean she's consistently consistent. I mean that's she's worried about pedophiles, but she's never talked once about the issues within the Catholic Church itself.
Right. Or her husband's best friend, Andrew Tate. Which God is real? The God of the Bible, or thank you so much for the love of Jesus with the 2. I appreciate you, friend. And coming back around, Heather says this: Candace thinks God has given her alone a new revelation and secret knowledge to share with the world. That's a very good observation.
He is the modern Joseph Smith. Yeah.
That's why we say, and I don't think it's just hyperbole, that this is a cult. This is cult behavior.
Mm-hmm.
She practices necromancy, talks about Christ's consciousness, doesn't seek God for advice, but man, priest, to be honest, smells like New Age. I told you. I mean, she was praying to the universe when she met Charlie. Thank you so much for that. I think she picks up different religions that suits her. No argument at all. Like, none whatsoever.
Well, we could also look at the dichotomy of and the differences between what her message is and what Charlie Kirk's message was. One of the things he constantly called out, homosexuality. He called out the trans movement. She has done anything but that, by the way.
Right.
He constantly called out the left and the ungodly actions of the left. She never does that. She never attacks the left. And by the way, that's what she used to do. Like, that was her thing. Like, hey, let's point out the hypocrisy, the incorrect elements of the left. And this is one of the things that really hit me the other day as I was thinking about this. And I went back through and I was watching, and folks, if you haven't watched it, I think you need to, the Joe Rogan episode where he interviewed her.
I keep saying I'm gonna do that. Maybe isn't it like 3 hours though, Gary?
It is. No, you don't want to do it. Maybe cut it out and pull some clips. That may be worth going through. But the fact is like she has never said any sort of new political revelation or anything else. The only thing that she ever did and where she made a living and where she became popular was she was a token Black woman that was parroting the exact same things that other white men were already saying. You can take that however you want, but that is why and how she got prevalent. And Joe Rogan actually mentions that. He's like, look, the reason you're so popular because this was in 2016 and 2018. She came onto the scene in 2016. So she'd only been a conservative for 2 years. At that point, she still didn't believe in God, she stated. And then when she was pressed on, she was pressed on global warming. He's like, well, why don't you believe global warming? At the time, Joe Rogan believed in global warming. He's turned that around a little bit. But the fact is, she's like, I don't know. I just think it's gay. He's like, well, what do you mean? And, you know, she never had anything other than a surface level argument because all she was doing was parroting what was already said. And she was looked at as, look, I mean, for a while there, she was the Black female face of the conservative movement. That's where her value came from, one way or the other. And, you know, she wasn't, she wasn't a Thomas Sowell. She wasn't Dr. Ben Carson. She wasn't somebody that was really well-versed and knowledgeable in conservative values. All she did was parrot what other people were saying already.
And if you do any research into her writing when she worked for Degree 180, she didn't hold to any conservative views, even in a secular sense. She didn't believe in the sanctity of marriage. She didn't believe in that. I mean, she's literally writing about polygamy, writing about having affairs and such of that nature, just openly. And that was literally 2-3 years before she was on the Joe Rogan program. So only to help Gary's point, when did she ever become a conservative though? When was she ever conservative?
And I think it was in 2016 when she wrote a article talking about it's a good idea to marry a gay man.
She did. It was 2016. Yep.
So, like, I mean, there were no principles as a foundation. She had no moral structure to begin with. It was what resonated with an audience, and that she became, you know, a commercial value is really what it comes down to. And as soon as she started feeling like that went away, all she did was switch to something else that she thought would be popular.
Yeah, I know. I think you're 100% correct. Greg says this: there is no way people living in mud brick buildings thousands of years ago have any time machine technology. Are you sure about that though? Come on, Candace told us that they tapped Indiana Jones and he was looking for, you know, the time machine of the crystal time machine. That's what Candace told me. Now, Gary, I don't know about that. Thank you so much, Kelly, with the 20. My goodness, in the morning. Had to catch up at double speed. Connect the dots. L. Ron Hubbard, Scientology, ran off with Jack Person's girlfriend, Ann Money. Really? Oh, my gosh. Scientology was created. John Mappin is a Scientologist. He is also Candace's friend. Makes sense now? If not, ask Xenu. I think isn't Xenu like an angel? What is it?
He is the top figure within Scientology.
Well played. I like how she did that. Well played. Thank you for the 10 confessions of a cookie.
Xenu was the original one that filled volcanoes on the earth and souls on the earth with atomic bombs and then blew them up, and these spirits turned into thetans, and these thetans represent like bad habits and things that are holding you down. And if you pay enough money and you read the right books from Scientology and you go through their training programs, which cost hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars, you can slowly get rid of these thetans and you will become a perfect being that is thetanless. And then you will die and turn into nothing because they are a godless. It is without doubt a atheistic.
Are you okay, Gary? Do you need help, Gary?
I do.
Confessions of a Cookie Addict. Fellow West Virginia here. Obscure YouTuber Gary. Appreciate all you both do. My fam is law enforcement. Husband's retired West Virginia State Trooper and doesn't watch YouTube at all, except he now watches you with me. Blessings to you both. Well, thank you so much. Shout out to your husband. Thank you for what he does to keep West Virginia safe. Mm-hmm. All right, Gary, watch this. Phantom says this with the 2. I always call wife and say I'm safe before everyone. There we go. So that's not like the fact that Candace can't seem to understand that, and you have to explain that part, just seems like we've already crossed the Rubicon of insane. Like, why do I have to explain to you why Mike called his wife? That doesn't make sense. But this is the question I asked the person that was that came on to debate me or discuss with me about Candace. What are you trying to say? Sure. Okay, fine. Mike McCoy did something weird, or I think he used the word weird or fishy. No problem. Okay. But what are you trying to say though? What does that mean? Okay, fine. He walked away and walked right over there. Okay, fine. But what are you trying to say? He would not say that he's trying to say Mike McCoy was in on it. Well, then it doesn't matter then. It's a non-issue. Crazy work.
Like in the middle, like again, folks, you know, the military and law enforcement that have done some things and seen some things, they understand human behavior and the fact that people will do inexplicable things. I had I'll just tell a quick story. This is the closest you'll ever get to a combat story out of me. I had a driver. He was a pack clerk. He was an S1 guy. And being a team guy, I was going on missions all the time. He was a friend of mine. He's like, Gary, please take me out on a mission. Take him out on a mission. We were going on what should have been a fairly routine mission. I was like, Mike, you can be my driver. All right. So long story short, we get into this big gunfight. All right. That vehicle ends up getting blown up. I was 15 feet away from an MRAP. And, you know, the front of that entire multi-ton, I think they're 20 tons, somewhere around there, went over my head. I was 30 feet from there. The fact that I was okay was great. Long story short, we're in the middle of a firefight. I finally get Mike out of this disabled vehicle. And instead of taking cover or anything else, he's a little rattled. He is clearly traumatized. He just goes walking down the road. And I had to send some guys to go get this guy. But and then we had local forces there as well. So we had the Afghan army with me. And these guys were pulling security. They were literally shooting, and he was stopping them to shake their hand. And again, this was a traumatic. He was pretty much uninjured. He probably had TBI. But the point is that he went through this traumatic event that he didn't think he was ever going to go through. And this is just one of hundreds of stories like this that I could give you, where I've seen local Iraqis do inexplicable things in the face of traumatic events. Like, that doesn't make any sense. You can call it suspicious. I could sit there and say it's suspicious. I could sit there and frame that like Mike knew that we were going to hit that IED, and that is suspicious that he went and was just walking down like he wasn't going to get shot or anything else. We got bullets flying over our heads, and he's just walking down the road. Clearly, he was in on it. Like, we can frame these things however we want.
Absolutely. Wow.
What you're completely discounting is an experience that you've never been through. And everybody is affected differently. They remember things wrong. People, I saw a comment up there. Why haven't you addressed the lies that TPUSA said? I haven't seen any significant lies that TPUSA said. As a matter of fact, most of the lies that are being said that they're saying are, like, I've proven, and many other people have proven that they're not lies.
Right.
But again, it's confusion because they're not working on messaging. You have all these hundreds of people within this, dozens of people. Make sure that we're factually accurate here. Dozens of people that saw things, that did things from different perspectives, from different views. And of course, what they're saying isn't going to be completely, they're not going to jive all the time, right?
Yeah.
They're going to see things, they're going to experience things, and they're going to remember things wrong. That's a known aspect of traumatic events, is people remember things out of sync. They don't remember things clearly, all those things. And one of the dumbest things that I constantly hear the Candace cult bring up is, well, Andrew Colvett said he had a spine of
soup.
steel.
Superman neck.
Like, are you trying to say that was a technical assessment? Of course he didn't have a spine of steel. Like, all he was trying to say was something nice about his friend that was killed, and that was like the day after the event, and he didn't realize that he was going to be attacked and picked apart by it. He was just trying to say something, inspirational about what was going on. And it was basically saying, hey, even in his death, potentially Charlie Kirk saved lives because the round didn't go through, which again, you can look at my MLK. We can get into the 30-06 and we can get into ballistics and all the other stuff. But it's just a bunch of nonsense and people making mountains out of molehills because you will not accept anything that TPUSA is that clears them. And you won't accept anybody that says, hey, these are the facts. You're like, nope, I don't like those facts because I want them to be guilty. You've already concluded that they're guilty. And you're demanding people to come to find information to prove they're guilty. And the best thing you got is Candace Owens and her circle of weirdos making nonsense about electrified microphones, exploding microphones, drones, tunnels underneath Charlie, palm guns, camera guns. Like, that's the best you got. So that's what you're going to go with, even though it doesn't make any sense.
Absolutely. No, I think you're right on the money. Thank you, man. The guy that was trying to delete her, she gave the code where an exec near her home. She features their products on her per chat. I'm not certain exactly what you mean by that, Grace. I do remember her saying, however, that the gentleman that was trying to delete her was in Nashville. And like, there was no emergency at all. So shout out for sure. Phantom says, please, Candace Owens, read Babylon Rising. It has the gospel. That's a good point. That would be a very interesting point. I would love for her to read that. I would. But the bad thing is she'll bring it in and treat it like it's not fiction, but reality. Erica's mom was having surgery on 9/10/25. That's why she wasn't with him. Candace Owens is a complete moron. Thank you for the 5. There's no argument for me. Thank you so much for being a member for a month. She needs to go investigate her husband and his shenanigans. I mean, all she got to do is turn over and look at him. I agree. Thank you so much for the very kind 5. She will eventually put Charlie in all this. Just wait. It's coming. I don't disagree.
Well, that's what all this is ultimately. When we start talking about the finances of TPUSA, when we start talking about where the Wolves and Finances, who I like to call Dancing with Wolves, tries to make allegations against Erica Kirk, making political statements up during the AmFest. Well, guess what?
Yes.
Go look at 2023 and 2024 AmFest. I got clips of it back there. Charlie Kirk makes all kinds of political statements. Now, I'll tell you right now, I'm not a lawyer. I don't understand 501c3s, what they can and can't say. But whatever you're accusing Erica Kirk of, Charlie Kirk and many other people, guest speakers, were doing the exact same thing. So clearly, and that was during the Biden administration, who was already going after TPUSA. So I think if there was a there, they would have found it. They were trying to shut TPUSA down for the same reason that Candace Owens and her sycophants are trying to shut it down, and that is because they are the most powerful political force in the United States, and they still are. Like, what you people are doing isn't working. They're still getting donations. They're still thriving. They're still going to be a huge political force in the midterms and in 2023. Are you having an effect? Of course you are.
2028.
Are we probably going to lose the midterms? And I would attribute at least a portion of what's going on with this and the misinformation that Candace and her surrogates are putting out. They're blackpilling a lot of people, saying like it doesn't matter if it's Republican or Democrat, like they're all the same. No, they're not. It couldn't you couldn't have a bigger contrast in choice. Joe Biden, who let millions and millions of illegal immigrants flood our country into this country, versus Donald Trump and the Republican Party that's trying to stop it, that has sealed the border, that has been effective. We've got interest rates that are much lower than they used to be. I mean, you can look at 100 metrics. I covered it in one of my last shows, went through and listed all the accomplishments of the Trump administration. Are they doing enough for me? No, they're not. They're not deporting nearly enough people as far as I'm concerned. There's other things that they're not doing well. Like, there's a lot to criticize there, but it's nothing even close compared to the Biden administration, what the Democrats want to do with this country.
I agree. Where we were 2 years ago is night and day different to today. So there we go. Adam says this with the 5. How do we know that Mappin didn't have Charlie deleted by Tyler Robinson? I mean, we don't know that. I mean, we're pulling up, we're doing archaeological digs in ancient Babylon. What about doing an archaeological dig through John Mappin's phone? Where was he on September 9th and September 10th? And 2 days before and 3 days after? Do we know? I don't know. I know he's always telling somebody come out and go shooting. Thank you, Ruben, with the 10 says this. Owens has 14. Then Owens was 14, I'm sorry, and never deployed. I didn't recall her unit or ground experience yet. She speaks like she was right there. That's wild to act like an expert without ever seeing the situation firsthand. But she does that all the time. She does that all the time, Gary.
There is nothing I've heard her speak on that she's not an expert on, and can tell you what normal looks like and what abnormal looks like, what suspicious looks like, and everything in between.
Yeah,
I mean, she is Dunning-Kruger walking.
Dunning-Kruger walking. I love it. I love it. Thank you so much, Pazzy, with the 5. I think Candace is working on a coup of TPUSA. She and Tucker want to redefine the conservative movement. There's no argument for me. There's no argument. I think you're right on the money. And the bad thing is that unless we defend and define what real conservatism is, then they'll fall victim to that. Thank you so much, Catholic, with the 5. She takes the moral high ground with Erica's post, but shares bloody pics of the SUV. And the alleged glass break in there, I personally don't think, I think she found out after the fact that wasn't really the SUV. That's why she's never shown it again.
Well,
I don't know if
Eric Coleman has shown that multiple times, and a couple of her other
sycophants
blacked out, surrogates.
Okay. Well, I don't watch them, so I can only watch but so much crazy. So I choose to. Look, I'm right here at the head of craziness, the fountainhead of insanity. That's where I'm at. Stormtrooper says this with the 10. Yes, Jay, personally would enjoy any podcast Gary and you could do together. By the way, I subscribe, getting you closer to the French toast and peanut butter. Absolutely. Thank you, friend. I'm looking forward to. I'm ready to try it out, man. Let's get it. Let me get that 100,000. Let's go. JJ's World with the 5. Candace Owens wasn't referring to Tim LaHaye, but Ron Skiba. Oh, could you look that up? Skiba's Babylon Rising video. Okay, maybe that was it. If you see it, let me know. Let's say that one. I'm gonna put that back up here for a second. Ron Skiba.
Rob Skiba?
Yeah.
Rising the first shall be last. Rob's okay.
Okay, so it's not Tim LaHaye.
No.
Okay. Is this a book or a movie, or what is this?
It's book. I don't know how they got away with calling it the same exact thing. I don't know when his was originally published February 2012, so it looks like it predates
Tim LaHaye. Okay.
Yeah. Rob Skiba.
Okay. All right, so Gary, that's your responsibility. You're going to get that book, order it, read it, and give us a nice, concise book review the next time we
That's
team
why
up.
God made AI.
Oh, come on. Please watch Brandon's interview with Andrew Cedra. Who's that? Thank you so much for the 2. Who's Andrew Cedra? Is this Andrew Brand? I'm assuming she means Brandon Tatum. I'm assuming. I'm going to say that. I'll come back to it as well. Thank you so much for that. And thank you so much, South Carolina dog. I'm in upstate South Carolina, Jason. How do you like that snow we weren't going to get because they said it was 5 inches in here? We didn't get any snow. We didn't get any ice. It was just really cold here. So I'm glad y'all enjoyed it. Keep it up there with y'all. I really appreciate it. All right. What we got here? Thank you so much. Am Croft with the 5. I'm Catholic, but I stopped watching shortly after her conversion because she was condescending and hateful. No Catholic I know talks this way. And that's what I'm saying. Like, I think Catholics need to speak out in this whole Catholic Day of Prayer. Maybe y'all need to say something about that and let people know, like, this doesn't represent us. I think that would be great. You know what else is great? CJ dropping 10 memberships on the Paramount Tactical Team. Shout out to y'all. 10 more. What do you call your people? I know you don't call them ICE agents. I know you better not. Just get in trouble.
I don't know that I call my people anything.
Oh,
well,
come on, man.
I need to get. I don't know. I'll come up with that.
We got to come up with something because Gary.
How about that?
What are they?
Paramount Patriots. You know what? I'm gonna call you guys door kickers. All my fellow door kickers. You guys.
I like that. Okay. See, you acting like you don't have creative mind, man. You look. Let's put the challenge out there because I was gonna call them something, but there you go, door kickers. I like that. Shout out.
So
great job, man.
I do want to hit this. This is just take this for what it is. And look, I don't think for a second that Chat GPT or any other AI is gospel, but this is the overview from Ron Skiba, late radio host, Bible prophecy researcher, discuss ancient civilizations, Bible cosmology, Nephilim, Watchers, Giants, alternative readings of Genesis and Revelation. He was not an academic historian or archaeologist. His work best described as biblical interpretation and speculative research, often critical of mainstream academia, intended for faith-based audience, not peer-reviewed scholarship. How they're viewed overall, his books, not factual history, not academically reliable, faith, prophecy, communities, seen as interpretive, theological, or illustrative, treated as possibility of warning, not proven fact. A useful way to frame it, think of Babylon Rising and much Skiba's commentary as biblical speculative world building inspired by real places and ancient texts, not as evidence of hidden archaeology or suppressed history. There's more to it, but you guys can look that up.
Okay.
And that's what's said of Ron Skiba and his Babylon Rising. So,
okay,
take that for what it's worth.
All right. So basically, what you're saying is you're not going to order the book and bring us a nice, concise book
dig
review.
that kind of stuff, but I also, I don't know. I make sure I look at that stuff and take it for what it is. Like, oh, okay, this makes sense. This doesn't make sense.
Well, let's finish this up. Phantom says this with the two. Candace Owens practices the article she wrote in 2016. That's the article about women should marry men that are not, that don't really want them, shall we say. That's funny. Grace says this is the 5. The assassin was an exec at a company that sponsors her show. She was duped again. Are you for real? Oh, man. Really? I believe it. I totally can see it.
I hate to interrupt here, but I just saw a comment by Heather Rose. I think apparently Ron Skiba was a flat earther. I mean,
well, she's a flat earther. What you call a flat earther? So, let me see. We
also rejected the cult of science.
Mm-hmm. She believes that dinosaurs didn't really exist. Their bones have been like just placed places. And she actually kind of mentioned it. She said like, we can't go places and just find things. Like we need archaeologists. I think she said that in the Joe Rogan interview, or I have an interview where she said that.
Very possibly. What she did say is that it was 30 degrees outside and she didn't understand why the ice wasn't melting. Did you know today it was 42 degrees today and the snow was melting? I couldn't figure out why. It was crazy.
It's crazy work, man.
I don't know what the Jews are doing to the weather, but it's something fishy. I've never seen that before. 42 degrees.
42 degrees, man.
Yeah.
Come on, man. What do you call, what about calling your followers obstructants?
Obscurance?
Obscurance. How about that one? What do you think about that?
We're going with door kickers.
You like door kickers? Okay, door kickers. Door kickers for the win. Truth door kickers for the win. All right. Gary needs to come on when we do body cams. I told him about it. We will have Gary come on, Kelly, and we'll do some body cam. Are you familiar with?
I will add to that because Jason and I have had this discussion. Look, I've gone down the auditor body cam rabbit hole many times. Like I love law enforcement. I love law enforcement. I've trained law enforcement in many different aspects. Most of my friends are law enforcement. I do have a real problem when law enforcement violates people's rights, and they do it. Yeah. And of course, there are some bad ones out there that need to be called out and prosecuted, persecuted, whatever you want to say. That being said, one of my favorite YouTubers out there is a civil rights lawyer who also happens to be here in West Virginia. Now, I don't agree with all his assessments, but long story short, I did speak with him today via X. And we're going to have him on. If you guys haven't seen the civil rights lawyer, he's done a lot of good work. in that regard, because there are some bad apples out there that do need to be called out. And I think there is no bigger I don't know, there's no bigger betrayal than when we hand someone the authority of a badge and a gun, and then they abuse that. And then they abuse, look, we still have when they have an oath to uphold and defend the Constitution. And I think, again, there's a balance there that I'm not sure. Look, law enforcement is much better than they've ever been, and they get better all the time. But there's some things that I think we as a society could make sure. Number one, getting law enforcement more training, getting them more resources. There's a lot going on there. It's a multifaceted issue, but that'd be something I'd love to discuss more for sure.
Okay, well, we will do that. We just enjoy watching body cam just for the laughs, just for the giggles. All right, Candace is rocking her Gordon Gartrell again, and that's from the Cosby Show. Shout out! Thank you so much for that very kind $2 super. I appreciate you. This is something interesting, and maybe we need to go back and look at Skiba's book. Is from 2012. He stole it from Dr. Tim LaHaye from 2000. Oh, so it's actually backwards. All right, let's do this because we got to clean the palate, Gary. If y'all want to, we'll go back.
I just want to. There's a comment that I want to clarify from Natalie Harmon 680. It says maybe Gary has already done this, but can someone ask him to do a show on his experiences and how it started? I don't know exactly what you mean by that, Natalie. I'd be happy to discuss those. And I have watched. I'm also looking at Drexley's comment. I watch Audit the. I watch them all. Like I go down those rabbit holes. Audit the Audit. There's like 10 more that I watch as well. Civil Rights Lawyer, Audit the Audit, and several more. But I'm not sure what you mean. How did my experience start? All those things. So if you clarify that, maybe.
Yeah, put some asterisks in front of it. I can kind of see it over here. Shout out. Thank you so much, Ian Janelle. Been a member for 3 months. Do merch. Build him a man. Build him a manwich. Much better than her book, which is probably about controlling women being submissive. Also, what's up with her son's name? I don't know what her son's name is, but Edie Lowe actually read the book, and she said she just couldn't. She just couldn't take it. It was intolerable. She said no, talking about Candace's book, Make Him a Sandwich, that it just wasn't. It didn't make any sense. And she said she stopped at like chapter 5. She said she just couldn't read it. It was kind of like her thoughts. She made it sound like it was just like a stream of consciousness and made into chapters. It was kind of crazy. But hopefully she'll come back or she'll explain a little bit more about it. Let me see if I missed something. All right. I do not see anything at this moment. Here, let's make this thing great. I'm going to pull in this video from the Daily Wire. The Daily Wire is up to more Daily Wire shenanigans, which, by the way, we approve of these shenanigans. Let's pull this in. I haven't seen this. I don't know what it is. My editors have been, mods have been sending it to me in the back. Green and red hearts in the chat when you can hear.
Welcome, friends. This is cassette 4 of the introductory adult reading curriculum, Read for All. This cassette will introduce onset letter sounds in context. Are you ready? Let's begin. A is for architecture. The architecture is delightful. B is for bees. Bees go buzz, buzz. C is for cease and desist. Hey, stop it. Now. D is for delegitimatize.
Oh my gosh.
This debacle has really delegitimatized the work. E is for Egypt. The explorer explored the Egyptian plains. F is for French. The French woman is a female. G is for glistened. The frozen ice glistened frozenly as the freezing temperature dropped to 30 degrees. H is for hooray! Clip clop hooray! I is for Israel. It's good to know what is real and what is not. J is for juicy. We all know the Jews see details no one else does. K is for no. You know the line, but I'm not going to say it. L is for literacy. Reading is literacy, and literacy is understanding, and understanding is M. M is for macabre. The Burr reel was
It's macabre. According to Candace, macabre. Not macabre.
quite macabre. N is for no. That's a no-no, kid. O is for officer. The Special Forces officer is a green beret. P is for puzzle. Everything can be a puzzle, even if it isn't. Q is for questions. Just asking questions is a clever way to make implications.
Wow.
R is for red yarn. Red yarn for miles. S is for sleep pictures. While you sleep, mind movies give you secrets. T is for thumb. The thumbtacks hold the red yarn in place. U is for unsubstantiated. An unsubstantiated claim can be solved by a hunch, vibe, or instinct. V is for victim. It's never too late to play the victim. W is for wine moms. Wine moms love true crime podcasts. X is for Twitter. X is what some people call Twitter. Y is for yay. Even Ye apologized. Z is for zoinks. When Shaggy and Scooby are trying to solve a case, they sometimes say zoinks. Great listening and learning. You're making excellent letter sounds. Remember, letters are like clues that when read correctly can help us make words. What clues did you find today? Listen again or refer to the transcript for additional practice. Turn over cassette tape to continue. End of tape. End of tape. End of tape. End of...
Oh, wow. Yeah, I'm sorry. Daily Wire. I'm sorry. That was brutal. Every one of them has gotten better. And this one right
I like
here.
the last one better than that one, but that one was good.
The last one with the guy on the board talking about cease and desist.
Yes.
I don't know. I like this one because this has been they're telling you right now that they're dialed in on what's going on Twitter, what's being said. So this is the newest thing is about the fact that she can't read. And
I
so
also enjoyed the animation of the miniature horse.
The miniature horse, I did like that as well. I did. But I feel like each one has gotten better. Wow. That was well done, Daily Wire. That was they got her over a barrel. And the thing is, like, I feel like, Gary, they just know what pics are like. They're just here to troll her. They're trying to give 50 Cent a run for his money as it relates to trolling. And that's all they're doing. It's like, you got a problem? We're going to go ahead and solve your problem for you by trolling you until you stop. Till you have no more problems. We're going to continue to troll until morale improves. I don't know if that's what they said, but I do want to play that little segment where Ben Shapiro talks about the 4D chess. I know y'all kind of forgot that we were actually watching Candace. I know we did because I silently rage quit, but I do want to watch that part because I think it's very appropriate for what she was talking about. Gary, are you okay? Are you going to be mad at me for this?
Oh, send it.
All right, let's finish. I think this is coming up. So it's coming up.
And I would just imagine that there's a lot of producers that are writing questions that Ben wants them to ask so that he could answer and kind of diss me. And that's what you're going to see here. And so because they're like running out of things to say about me, their new push is just that I'm stupid. Candace is dumb. She's really stupid. She mispronounced a word. We're going to go scroll through 300 episodes and look, She meant to say revelations, but she said relevations. Ah, she's ignorant. So Ben is so obviously answering a question that is asked by his producer, and they just like push any mistake.
And again, like it's funny because Candace can make a mistake. Now, I think most people, and in the chat, let me know this. If Candace were not holding other people to that high standard that Gary, you cannot mispronounce words, you cannot make, mistakes under pressure or whatever like that. If Candace wasn't doing that, would you be equally okay with, the video that we just watched? I think most people would probably say, well, hey, she gave Gary some grace because he mispronounced a word. She gave Jay Witt grace when he mispronounced a word. They probably shouldn't dunk on her when she mispronounces a word. The problem is she holds herself up to the standard and makes this standard that is untenable. And so therefore, because this is what the Bible is talking about when it says, judge not lest you be judged. This is what they're talking about. You do something, you hold up this standard and you yourself don't live up to it. That's what they're talking about. The whole, speck in the eye, the log in your eye. This is it. This is it. So the Daily Wire crew are just pointing out the log in her eye, and she just doesn't like it. Okay, let's finish up.
I make anything. They just like push through the algorithm. People make videos. Sometimes it's not even a mistake. Like when I was talking about temperature, and they made it such a big deal about what temperature water freezes at, as if they don't understand that if it's 30 degrees outside, it's warmer in some spots and cooler in other spots. It's warmer at my deck. Do you guys know about the sun rising? And like it's warm on one side of the house. It's
Okay, she really should stop trying to defend herself. That was actually worse than what.
You know what? I made a mistake. I thought that that water froze at like 28 degrees, and I had everybody in my comments saying, "Oh yeah, well the sun can be shining down. And it's 30 degrees, and it's melting the ice in the top of the trees." Okay, well then it's not 30 degrees at the top of the trees. And that's not what she said. She didn't say, hey,
that's not what she said.
Really warm. The ambient air temperature is different. She said it's 30 degrees. I don't know what the sun was like at Nashville or wherever she lives. Like there could have been no sun. Now you're just defending her blindly and stupidly and not just saying, hey, you know what? Look, if I say something dumb like that, guys, just don't defend me. Just like, you know what? Gary misspoke. He wasn't thinking. Yeah. And I'll be like, you know what? I said something dumb.
That's it.
But she can't do that. She can never admit when she's wrong. And it's just narcissism at the highest level that I've ever seen.
At the top of the trees where the ice is.
Yeah.
It's so ridiculous. I tried to push this through. It was just ridiculous. Like, I'm like, it's 40 degrees on my deck and the snow is not melting.
That's not what she
said. It's 32
said.
degrees.
That's not what she said.
And they're like, she's an idiot. She doesn't understand.
I agree with that last statement.
The snow doesn't melt.
Well,
anyway, you're going to watch Ben Shapiro.
Okay, I just want to point out something again. Whenever she gets upset about something and is angry about it, she really goes hard in it. And she's really upset about that. She really is. Just like when everybody was on Mitch Snow. They got baby mama drama. She tries to make it like sound very juvenile, as if the argument was just a silly argument about baby mamas or whatever like that. Ma'am, that's not what you said about the snow. And I'm sorry, you keep putting yourself out there, just like you said, Erica, put her mom out there. You put yourself out there, you're open to criticism. It's just it.
And for people that haven't seen, I'm going to throw this up there real quick. People need to see this because these are the two tweets. Two different tweets. She did back to back. Back online after internet blackout. I grew up in Connecticut. I've truly never seen an ice like this ever. The temperature is 30 degrees, but the ice on our treetops is not melting at all. Never seen anything like this. Anybody else? I will take a video to show you guys what I mean, but it's almost like dry ice. And it's taking out an absurd amount of trees. Again, 30 degrees and none of the ice is dripping from the trees. I mean,
and there's nothing about
one tweet, it was two, and it was absurd, both of them.
Good catch, man. And also, there's nothing here about ambient temperature, nothing about sun on my deck versus sun on the driveway or on the top of the trees. No, as Gary said, that's spot on the money. Great catch. Let's finish this up. Hold on. Let's finish this up. I hope we finish it. Lord have mercy.
Candace is an idiot.
Yeah.
Ask himself a question so he can answer it. and also, of course, make fun of a dream and make it kind of weird when I said that, like, described it as a chessboard. Take a listen.
Did I hear that Candace said on her show she had dreams about playing Hogwarts chess with you? That's the okay now. All right. Well, that's weird. It's a little bit weird. I mean, I guess that's pronounced what-eared or what-eared. Wait, should I pronounce? Yeah. I don't know. Maybe we should have a discussion about the temperature at which ice freezes.
See.
Or maybe we can talk about various German terms and their proper pronunciation, like blitzkrieg. I will freely admit that I did make a few jokes around the office about other Nazi breakfast foods besides blitzkriegs, which may include Luftwaffles. Candace also interviewed Bassem Youssef and told him she thinks something bad happened in your childhood because you fixate and lack empathy. Man, so much projection. Oh my goodness. What? Yeah, sure. Mm-hmm. All right. Whatever, man. Whatever.
I just want to acknowledge the fact that he watches every minute of this. Just own it. You're a Candace. You have.
I think this is in order to make herself feel better about this situation. She has to say, like, Gary watches every episode and whatnot. I don't think everybody watches it. I do think that Candace has seen my show. I do believe that. I don't think she watches every episode. Most of the people on the best live channel on the internet don't watch every episode. So I don't believe that. But she's got to say this to make herself feel good. If you watch her face while he's roasting her, she's pretty miffed. She's pretty perturbed by what he's saying. So making fun of the fact that she doesn't pronounce words correctly. So she is upset about it. So she's got to kind of take the anger out of it by saying that he's a stan, or what she call him, a standis, that he's a standis, because that's the only thing that makes her feel value, is that her saying that he actually just loves her. And
notice she's intentionally avoiding the dumb pronunciations that she said dozens of times, like architecture.
Yes.
She said that a bunch. Macabre. She said that a bunch. Compartmentalize. She said that a bunch.
Delegitimize. All those things.
Delegitimize. Yes. So
yeah, there's quite a bit. Like there's, and even if you follow Milk Bar, there's several days where she said certain things. So it's not just the only episode. Like it's all over the place.
Yeah.
So nobody has to watch it. I mean, well, shout out to Milk Bar and Candace Owens Can't Read on X, because they do all the work for us. They do all the heavy lifting for us.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to know how they do that.
Have every single Candace cup. It's just amazing. And this new push of Candace is an idiot. If I'm an idiot, you should try it. You might have a successful company. Like, if I am an idiot, Ben, you should try it. And I love that it's kind of their natural route too, because like when you start to learn like the real history behind the slave trade, Benny boy, I'm ignorant, but not that ignorant. And he just so badly just wants to hard R it. Like he's like that. They're at the point now where they're like, how could we basically just like call her the N-word, but like not fall into like just saying the N-word? Like I don't want to be Nick Fuentes, but like Ben, I'm gonna give you an N-word pass. Just say it. Just get it off your chest. You'll get that. That's what it means, right? Like an ignorant black person. Stop having people scroll through every second of my show trying to find me mispronouncing words, or I'm sorry, I don't speak German.
There's like legitimate channels that mock you, Candace, from your clothing to the way you speak. Nobody has to do that anymore. Like, as I said before, Candace Owens has created her own rogues gallery. Like she's created the Penguin. She's created the Sandman. She's created her own rogues gallery. I mean, she does it herself, but nobody has to do it. You're doing it for them.
Blitzkrieg. Just get it off your chest, Ben. Just hard R it. That's what you're feeling right now. He hates you with a passion. He has been watching every minute of the show since I left the Daily Wire. That was actually Alyssa's job when back when Jeremy was there. They used to keep a file, and then they would send it around to all of their influencers of clips of the show and taking me out of context and then trying to make it go viral, whether it was calling me an idiot or trying to pretend that I was like the worst anti-Semite ever because I brought up something that's, true about Israel or its history. They pay people to do this. I just want to give him the N-word pass. Just like get it off your chest, man. I know you hate me with a burning passion, but like it's gotten to a point now where it's not really hate and it's kind of, we don't know, but we know. You're on stage saying catchphrases from the show. You're a fan. You like it. It's fine. All right, we'll be right back after a quick break. All right, you guys.
And
let's
you
be
know
honest,
that she
getting all
said
of your
that
daily fruits
in
and
order to
vegetables
make
is not
herself
always easy.
feel
Life gets busy.
balanced, because I think they really got onto her skin. I think
ahead.
Daily Wire. Go ahead.
No, I was agreeing with you. Oh yeah.
I think Daily Wire has gotten under her skin with their shenanigans, and I approve of these shenanigans, by the way. All right, we're going to go ahead. Do you want to watch the comments or no?
What's that? No, yeah, no. Go ahead.
Okay, all right. Gary's like, man, stop traumatizing me. All
I
right.
was looking up the video just now. That no, I'm good, man. This is fun. There's a video of Candace and how many different times that she's. Oh, it's right here. As a matter of fact.
Go share it.
Talking about the Daily Wire. Let me.
Yeah.
Long before Ben Shapiro was talking about her at all.
Correct.
So, that is the real obsession here.
I agree.
If you could,
okay. Yeah, I see it. I see it right there. I'm gonna pull it up in a second. Here, let's get through this.
Today's episode, by the way, is why is Erica lying to the only person trying to find who killed her husband?
That's a dumb sentence.
It's a question that needs answering, in my opinion. That is what is striking me as odd.
It's a dumb question.
It's a dumb question.
Recognize the first lie, and I just saw that lie through and through. I was like, nope. I actually, to be honest, the first thing I clocked was letting people that your husband didn't like into your zone right after he died. Like whether it's New York Times, whether it's allowing them to buy slots to speak, that to me didn't feel natural. Like AmFest is for me when things just started fraying very badly. And I went, what are we actually looking at here? What's happening? You might know something. You can message me more tips. You can send us an email. More tips.
Oh, more
tips. Let's get to some of your comments.
If you have anything defamatory to say about TPUSA, please send it to me. That's what she
right. And basically, if you maybe possibly make it up, I might vet it. I might not.
Exactly.
Scroll here to the bottom. Aerialist writes about the Zooms. I don't understand why Erica kept saying we need to stay humble. Like if my husband was murdered, that is not something I would need to repeat over and over to myself. Weird. Yeah, I also don't necessarily think that the choice adjective to describe AmFest would be humble. Like I don't
it's not.
think Tim Dillon would describe it as a humbling experience at all, by any means.
Why is Tim Dillon the standard?
Did everyone see the news about Jill Biden's ex-husband, Bill Richardson? That's Jill, by the way. I feel like when I say Jill, it sounds like Joe. Jill Biden, I've been telling you guys, she's crazy. She's out of her mind. She's like the one hungry for power. I've always felt that way about her. Well, apparently her ex-husband, Remain Light writes, was indicted with first-degree murder of his ex-wife, which happened back in December. Huge news here in Delaware and now beyond. God bless you and yours. Wait, is it Richardson, like the law firm?
920 building.
In Delaware?
Watch out, 920 building.
Who is he?
I don't know.
Actually?
Look him up. Look him up, Candace. Look him up.
Tell us what he does. I'm gonna let you guys figure that out.
I do believe. Hold on. I do believe that this is theater because I think she does this type of thing to kind of make it seem like this is live. I don't believe that. She does things that you and I would experience as in our live show. And she does those things, even though it's a recording, in my opinion, to make it look like it's live. Because again, until she starts pulling up comments on the screen, this is just theater. Because this article was dropped at 3:33. That does not mean that she could not have done it earlier and did the upload at 5:30. I'm sorry, that's just it. Okay, I'm here to pick fights. Oh, sorry about that.
Is it ex-husband? It says Bill Richardson. This person has the wrong name. Okay. Bill Richardson did nothing. He's out here catching strays. Okay. So it's William Stevenson is actually the correct person. I'm glad we looked it up because I would have gotten a cease and desist from poor Bill Richardson. William Stevenson, 77, of Wilmington, was married to Jill Biden for 5 years, 1970 1975. And apparently
50 years ago.
Seems to be going on. Jill Biden has declined to comment. That is interesting. The woman was found unresponsive in the living room, and life-saving measures were unsuccessful. Okay, that is some breaking news, and I am hearing it right now. Thanks for letting us know. We will follow up on that probably tomorrow.
Why?
Cheryl Wells writes, "You are an amazing woman and a journalist. I'm proud to be in your audience. Christ truly is king." Thank you so much. Shannon writes, "Collectively, we, millions worldwide, are shifting consciousness back to truth and light, boldly holding back the darkness. God bless you, Candace, for leading the charge, taking all of the slings and arrows, an epic hero's journey. You were made for this." Well, let's hope it's not an epic like Gilgamesh. I was actually saying how odd it is that we were writing papers about this in school, and they made us think Gilgamesh was a hero. It is Nimrod. Get your kids out of these schools. You want to know what you can do? Take your children out of school. Okay. The entire academic pathway that has been established for them is about getting them to worship false idols in place of true God.
Okay. I'm gonna stop there.
Well, one thing I want to address, because this is one of the tropes that is going around, one of the information ops that in lies, defamation, slander, whatever you want to call it, is that, ever since Charlie died, I'm going to have you play the other video first. We'll get to that other one. I put another video down.
Show you that in America, you could start.
Real quick, just to set this up, folks, is people have continued to say that suddenly AmFest has turned into WWE, that it is so much different since
when it was
Charlie died and Erica has taken over. It is now nothing but, smoke and pyrotechnics.
Yep.
And it's just crazy. So here's a little pump video from 2023. And by the way, you can watch the exact same thing in 2024. It even gets bigger.
I want to show you that in America, you could start small and dream big and make a difference. 8 years ago, we had 100 kids at a Holiday Inn Express, and what started with 100 kids, look around, everybody. Is now the largest event in the entire conservative movement. You can see this, the whole room. It's just unbelievable.
Oh my God.
This is the future of conservatism right here.
Whatever, they're pretending, and you can't beat them with a horse of arms. You can only beat them with the truth by showing up and standing immobile in the face of their lies and not fearing them. For saying I want my children to have the same opportunities to flourish in the greatest experiment in freedom in human history, the United States of America, I was ridiculed. I take that as a badge of honor.
Push yourself harder. Here's my commitment to you. In 2024, it will be the hardest year I've ever worked in my life. And I want you to do the same. Here I am, Lord, use me. God bless you guys, and thank you so much.
I mean,
okay.
Look at how much different it was from 2025 to 2023. My God.
Yeah. I mean, the only thing I saw different was I didn't see Tim Cass this year. But yeah, everything else was the same. Great catch, man. All right. Also, go ahead.
2024, it just got bigger from there. It grew.
Yeah.
It turned into a bigger event. It was a celebration of conservatism. It was a celebration of the accomplishments of TPUSA. That's what it was all about.
Right. Let me pull this one in real quick. And
sure.
You want to make this one bigger? Because I can't. Yeah. All right, so this is Candace obsessing over
I genuinely
Daily
feel
Wire.
like when you break up with someone and you have a crazy ex, that was how it felt like being fired from the Daily Wire. The Daily Wire, The Daily Wire, from The Daily Wire, The Daily Wire, The Daily Wire, Andrew Clavin, my crazy ex-boyfriend, Andrew Clavin. The Daily Wire, The Daily Wire. He does some stuff, The Daily Wire, The Daily Wire, The Daily Wire, The Daily Wire, at The Daily Wire, The Daily Wire, The Daily Wire, and from The Daily Wire, The Daily Wire, The Daily Wire, from The Daily Wire, take The Daily Wire, The Daily Wire, Ben Shapiro, Dave Smith. The answer to this question might get you kicked off The Daily Wire. I had to laugh at that. That's really funny. The Daily Wire, and The Daily Wire, my psycho ex-boyfriend, Daily Wire, Daily Wire, Daily Wire, Reagan Conrad, Jeremy Boring, The Daily Wire, Daily Wire, Daily Wire, Daily Wire, with The Daily Wire, and The Daily Wire, Brett Cooper out at The Daily Wire, Daily Wire, The Daily Wire, The Daily Wire, The Daily Wire, Daily Wire, The Daily Wire, Daily Wire, sign up for The Daily Wire. After I got fired from The Daily Wire, we're like, she's done, she's toast. The Daily Wire, The Daily Wire, The Daily Wire, Ben Shapiro, fuck you and the midget horse that you rode in on.
And I was like, why are you so obsessed with me?
Well done, well done, well done. All right, let me see. All right. I'm looking at, somebody sent me something. All right, somebody sent me something in X, I guess correcting me about something I said, but be right when you correct me, though. That's all I ask. Just be right. They're already making memes, conspiracies of Babylon.
I genuinely feel like when you break up with someone and
memes are already
you have a
coming.
crazy ex, that was how.
You had that playing? Okay.
On accident.
No problem. All right. Y'all, this is some crazy work, y'all. They are already sending us memes about these TikToks about the Epic of Gilgamesh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. They're coming fast and furious. It never, I mean, she literally serves up all of the corrections for people. Like literally, she's put stuff out there and then people just easily swat it down. And then she'll come back and say they're going crazy. They're panicking. Everybody's nervous because of what you found in Indiana Jones 2 or whatever. Like, no, ma'am, no.
Affirmation that she's right. Everybody's
It's always that.
For saying Macabre, and it's because actually I'm the only one that's saying it correctly.
Well, there you go. Right. That's it. That's it. Or again, or like not addressing the fact that, yeah, I did say that wrong. My bad. No, it's Gary's wrong for calling me out, which is crazy work, by the way. You're wrong because you call me out. That must mean that I'm right, or I'm over the target, as she likes to say. I'm over the target because you call me out. No, you should have stayed over in art class. I'm sorry, in our literature class and paid attention more. That's what you should have done. No, it has nothing to do with that. All right. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate it. We've been on a fabulous show, Gary. We're crushing it.
Who did
Well, there we go. What else were we supposed to do?
Exactly.
Shout out. Thank you so much, Janelle. Thank you so much. What do we got here? Thank you for the 10. Thanks for your great stream. The Rugged Rogue. Thank you very much for that. That's very kind of you. And sent one to me as well. I appreciate it. I appreciate the support. Thank you very much. What is Natalia said this with the 20. That's to you, Gary. I wanted to hear your story in the military and how you decided to serve. Okay. You want to say that as like story time with Gary?
I'll give you the lowdown and dirty. I mean, again, 9/11 happened. A couple days later, I was in the recruiting station, and then I ended up at the 101st. I was on a scout platoon and ultimately sniper team and sniper team leader toward the end of that deployment. We were in Iraq with the initial push. Started off with the initial push, was there for 13 months. I came back from Iraq after that and went to Special Forces selection. Ended up at the 1st Special Forces Group after a couple years of training and did 3 more combat tours, multiple more training tours. I got out at the end of 2011 and did another year on National Guard at the 20th Group, National Guard out of Baltimore. And I took a job as a special tactics instructor teaching Department of State diplomatic security agents going overseas, taught them on room clearing, defensive tactics, hand-to-hand, close protection work. That's what they did. We taught that. And then I got kind of bored and started around 2014, 2015, started Paramount Tactical Solutions as a training company. I had access to a bunch of great guys that not only had a long history of actual experience in their job, but they were also great instructors. So we started that in 2014, and everybody at the time was telling me you got to do YouTube stuff, and I didn't want anything to do with YouTube. And then COVID hit, and I had some clients that were wanting me to put some stuff out. While there was only we were in here in West Virginia, so only a couple month period, not even a couple months, a few weeks, about a month or maybe 2 months. But we didn't know how long the lockdowns were going to last, right? So they put some stuff out on YouTube. So I did. And I thought, it'd get 100 views from my clients or whatever else. And it kind of took off. And then I kind of understood the reach of YouTube and the real importance of it. So I started doing it more and more seriously. And now here we are today. That's my story.
I love it. All right. Well, there you go. You got story time with Gary. We have story time with Gary. The toll is diabolical. Thank you so much for the $2.79 Canadian. I think he's talking about the
That's only like
Daily Wire.
30 cents American.
Is that what it is?
Just joking.
You wild, man. You wild. Hey, thank you, CJ. You know what? Blessing 5 people with
CJ
memberships
is the best, man.
Is the absolute best. If you got a membership from CJ and you're now a member of Paramount Tactical Door Kicker, or you're here on the Jay Whip podcast, make sure you say thank you. Put thanks CJ in the chat. That's appropriate. Make sure you let him know we appreciate him. Thank you, friend, for extending that out. He meant troll. Absolutely. Thank you so much for that. All right, what we got here? What'd she say here? The fake laughing is so cringe. I think Candace does that as a defense mechanism when she really is in her feels. When she really is angry about something, when she's really upset about it. That fake laugh. Oh, there goes Edie right there. Edie's in the chat. She was on with me this morning. She's the one that actually read Candace's book, and she gave some opinions on it, shall we say. The Jews spray water on her trees at night to keep them frozen. Clearly, thank you for the 5. Clearly. What you about to say, Gary?
Well, I just wanted to address a comment up here. So, number one, I want to say thank you to all the vets out there as well. Vets and law enforcement. You guys do so much for this country. Samantha Richardson has defended me over there. There's this big trope going around that supposedly TPUS is paying me, or I'm supposed to mouthpiece for TPUSA. That is a absolute false lie, slander, defamation. They've never paid me. They never coordinated with me to do or say anything. I actually had it pulled up where Candace knows this, by the way. And Candace DM'd me on this. I've talked to her at depth about this. This is a lie. This is a slander of her. So what happened was, just for everybody that's clear on this, Andrew Colvett reached out to me and wanted me to come on the show to talk about what was going on with some of the things that I had already covered. All right. So I went on to his show. You guys, if you haven't seen the show, I was on the Charlie Kirk show. We talked about how Candace Owens was lying about, she didn't ever show the steps and how easy it was to get on the rooftop. I talked a little bit about my experience and how I come to some of the conclusions that I had. Oh, that was the last time I talked to Andrew Colvett after I had went onto his show. Then after AmFest, I was getting ready to do a show with Mitch Snow. And I reached out to Andrew Colvett and I said, hey, hope you had a great time. And by the way, I have my texts if people want to see that. I reached out to Andrew. He was a source. I was being a good independent journalist, reaching out to a source, and he gave me the information. And yes, I ended up showing a picture, a screenshot while I was in the middle of, I had texted him for the information a couple hours before the show. And then I was literally like, oh crap, Andrew sent me a picture and what was going on. And then I had basically screenshot it, threw it up there before I realized he was saying, don't show the picture on there. They turned this into some big thing. And that I was being directed by TPUSA. It's a freaking lie. And it is defamation of the worst type. And they know it. They know it's a lie because what they want to do is try to say that I'm not coming to my conclusions independently. And they're trying to take my value, my credibility as an independent journalist. I'm the one that went to UVU before I knew anything about TPUSA or knew anyone at TPUSA. I'm the one that interviewed 8 different eyewitnesses that all said the same thing. I'm the one that's had like 4 eyewitnesses on our show to talk about what they experienced, all of which Candace hasn't done, Baron Coleman and all these other people that are spreading lies intentionally. I made a silly, dumb mistake. It was a lack of attention to detail. I own that by posting that. But what I didn't do is knowingly lie. And what I wasn't doing with anyone ever was coordinating some big thing like Candace Owens and her surrogates have been doing from the very beginning. She posts something, Baron Coleman, Ian Carroll, Coach Colin, Ryan Mata, they've been coordinating this stuff from the very beginning. And then each one of those people have their own little ring of surrogates that repost everything they say. Project Constitution, Diligent Denizen. You can go through their posts and just see lie after lie after lie after lie. And that's where that comes from. So TPUSA never came to me for anything. He asked me to come on the show. That's what I did. And because I had his contact when I needed information, I didn't think I would get an answer. I just sent Andrew a text. Hey, man, hope you had a great time at AmFest. This is the information that I want. Can you give me an alibi for, I ended up saying September 9th. I meant September 8th. And then so he ended up getting a picture from September 9th from Erica Kirk. And what Candace is so butthurt about is that they talked to me, the obscure YouTuber.
Obscure YouTuber in the chat.
That's exactly what she said in my DMs. Like, why wouldn't they basically just give you this information? Because I was talking to Brian Harpole, and I interviewed Brian Harpole because I had access to Andrew Colvett. Because guess what I wasn't doing? I wasn't accusing them of murder. And here she is taking everything they say, twisting it, taking it out of context, and then turning it into this thing where she's using that to accuse them of murdering their friend. And then she wondered, well, I don't know why they wouldn't just give me that information. Why wouldn't they send that to me directly? I don't understand. And so now she is spreading the lie that I am being paid by TPUSA, that Erica Kirk is paying me. It's a lie, and it's a provable lie. And that's where it is. And people that are believing it and spreading it, you're participating in a lie. And like, it's okay if you disagree with me. If you think I'm wrong or I have some sort of unscrupulous or nefarious motivations behind what I do, that's fine. Accuse me of that. But when you are participating in what is known, it was a known lie. Like, you should actually check yourself a little bit, because that's your problem. There's nobody pays me to do anything. I do this at a cost to my business. I can be doing things that make me a lot more money than this. I do this because I care about it, because I care about Charlie's legacy. I was a big fan of Charlie, and I can care about the conservative movement. I care about this country, and that's where I'm at in all this. And you can believe that or not, I don't really care. But you saying that I'm paid and I'm a shill of TPUSA, you're a liar. I mean, that's really what it comes down to.
And my only pushback to the people that are going to still believe Candace and their brains are still smooth is, where is your evidence that he's lying? Where is the lie that he shared? If, like, what did Gary say that was a lie? Because he got the information from Andrew Colvett. Okay, so what? I got Gary's phone number. So what? Like, but what was the lie though? What is the untruth that was shared? And they won't have it because there isn't one. Shout out to you, man. All right, because it's funny that Candace peddles in falsehoods like that, because you do know how she feels about him, right, Gary?
Feels about what?
You know how Candace feels about lies, right?
I mean,
But I don't like little lies. When there is one lie, there's 20.
Yeah, she doesn't like them, man. And she also is not really keen on questions. Fun fact, I don't know if you remember this.
You don't get to ask those questions. What's wrong with you, Mom? Why are you so scared?
I don't think she realizes how obscene and just ignorant she said. I wanted to talk about this. This is my last thing. Notice Candace in the last little clip. She was telling people to pull their kids out of school. Get your kids out of school because, they teach the Epic of Gilgamesh wrong. Get them out of school. If she did that, why is she not telling you what to do with your kids when you pull them out? Why is she telling you that? Or why is she not telling you that? Why is she not telling you about how to develop a curriculum so that you can be a homeschool parent yourself? Why is she not, or where the curriculum that she's chosen? Remember, she said her sister is like this homeschool savant. So why are you not pointing to your sister and what she's taught? I don't think it actually happened. I don't think it does.
No.
She just wants you to pull your kids out, and your kids is sitting at Starbucks coloring while you're stressed out about why you did this and being a mom. Was it a wine mom? That's what she wants, but she does not give you anything to actually move this game forward. So speaking of moving forward, shout out to Bronson. Gary's trolling skills have really improved over the last few months. Proud of you, Gary. Oh, Gary, how you trolling? They see me trolling.
He's probably referencing the video I posted today on X, which we watched on this one.
Oh, okay. Love it. I love it. Yeah, Gary's skills are up there. Thank you, Adrian, with the 5. That was such a leftist tactic. She got nothing substantial to come back with. So she accuses Ben of racism. Right, racist comments. That's what the left does. That was wild work. But I've said this before. I said it early on in this whole debacle that Candace would eventually pull the race card. And it's funny when she did it, talking about slavery. Everybody in the chat was like, Jason, you said this a long time ago. And y'all thought I was kidding. I don't think she ever really was a conservative. I think she was, as Gary mentioned before, as Joe Rogan said, I think she was just parroting concepts. She was just parroting what she heard. If you heard me come on here talking about Second Amendment. Oh, that was a question, Gary. Have you always been a gun person?
I have. Yeah, I always.
Yeah. Okay.
I've always been infatuated. I've always loved guns. I've always loved guns. The military, going into the military. So I was actually 18 Bravo, which is a weapons sergeant. So that's on a SF team, 18. You have multiple different MOSs, and I was the weapons guy on the team, which I love my job.
Okay. So if you ever hear me come on here and start talking about, regaling about weapons, good and well, I got that from Gary. You just know it. We have a weapons guy at my church who's over security. Is either Gary or James. It's one of those two people. Good and well. I'm over here. I got my cliff notes. I'm talking smack. I don't know what I'm talking about otherwise. So, but that's the same thing with Candace. I can respect gun ownership and I want people to be able to do it. I'm a 2A supporter. However, I do realize that I don't know as much as Gary. I don't know as much as James. But Candace will never say that. She'll get out here and argue. She argues with experts about stuff, which is crazy work to me.
And she never has experts on with anything. Like never. She never had, like, when I got a law question, I have Andrea Burkhart. I have a lawyer come on and talk us through, what's going on with, and folks, if you haven't watched that, I just did another interview with her where we went through the Macron case. That was fascinating. If you haven't watched that, make sure you go watch that. That was a great case. She went through it, talked about the merits, the strengths of that case. Candace is cooked. All right. I don't like the Macrons. I don't like the Macrons. Like, not a fan. When she first, before all this stuff started, she started coming out. I just heard bits and pieces of her calling, Brigitte Macron a dude. I thought it was hilarious. And I wanted it to be true. I was like, oh, that's kind of funny. But when we start going through the actual legal cases and the information that's been provided to Candace, the exculpatory evidence, she's cooked. I mean, she's going to lose that lawsuit for sure.
Yeah, somebody asked that we make sure
I won't say for sure, but I've talked to 4 different lawyers that are familiar with that case, and every single one of them said, like, I don't think any lawyer, and I'd be remiss to do it too, say 100%. But I will say, all of them, like, it's not looking good for Candace. It's bad.
Yeah. All right. They don't have a true maroon. They have a red. Somebody asked me to make sure their shirt was in maroon. They have a red one. They don't have a true maroon. I'm looking through real quick. And if I do, I'll make sure you order one. I'll make sure I change it up real quick. All right, real quick. Let's get done with these. I know we had other things to talk about. Look up Lyle Culpepper. Thank you so much for being a member for 3 months. I'll look up Lyle Culpepper. Make sure you tell me exactly what I'm looking up for him or about him. Disney,
my girl.
With a 5. Shout out to everyone whose brain is bleeding listening to Candace, but still here. So you can support Gary, LOL, and to you, Jay. Thank you so much. This is one of your people. I love it. Thank you so much for stopping through.
Though, if you will, Jay, before it gets too stale, I do want to bring up, I actually have my Andrew texts right there. I want people to see this so they can see how this conversation started, so that you can see that there was no direction from Andrew Colvett. It said, Andrew, hope you in. Let me pause this real quick. Andrew, hope you had a great time at AmFest. I'm doing an expose of Mitchell Snow tonight at 6 p.m. Eastern time. So is Nate over at VFT, Jesse on Fire, who both are no friends of TPUSA and still wholly aligned with Candace, which they were. All right. And they are. Like, both those people still support Candace. Take it for what it is. They're doing it at 8 p.m. Can you provide anything proving Erica's whereabouts on the 9th? I know I've heard she was with her mother, even giving me a statement to confirm that will be helpful. Hard evidence is obviously better. So as we go along here, all right, so that was at 4:31 p.m. All right, I had my phone laying here. I went live at 8 p.m. I missed all of these texts going through. And the video is playing.
Is it playing? Okay.
Yeah.
Now we don't have no metadata now.
I know.
We get in trouble with metadata now. Okay, here we go.
Right, you guys can see what he said just real quick. Just let me read through that. Hey man, sorry seeing this, been off my phone, but we're saying LOL, Erica wasn't in some fort in Tucson. The internet has gone insane. She woke up next to Charlie, went to the office early the next day, woke him up from a nap before a fox hit, went to dinner with Charlie. Now, a couple of things I want you guys to have some context with is one of the things that Candace was saying that was a lie. This was a lie because he didn't have a fox hit on September the 9th. Come to find out, he did. It was with oh God, I can't think of his name. Anyways, we later proved that he did. And Candace didn't know what she was talking about, but she tried to take that and say, "Oh, this whole thing's a lie." But the point here is, and then again, what I ended up doing, she sent me this. I was literally in the middle of a stream while this happened, and then proof she was with her kids at, I think that says 9 a.m. Pacific time. It's blocked for me. It shouldn't be blocked for you. I don't know. But the point here is that's what's going on. And by the way, that's incorrect. I don't think that is her son. I think that is somebody else's kid, by the way. But it really doesn't matter. The point is that she sent this 8:37 p.m. September 9th. And so going back up, the main point of this is I initiated this conversation. Andrew, hope you had a great time at AmFest. And I'm asking for information because I'm a good independent journalist, and that's what I do. I go out and actually research information. I go to UVU. I called Mitch Snow to get the facts directly from Mitch Snow before I heard from his family members or anything else, all of which none of these things that Candace Owen actually does. I have talked to multiple eyewitnesses. I have had multiple eyewitnesses on, and I don't just sit there and do an investigation from my butt in front of a camera. We actually do things and not just wait for tips to come into our tip box, because that's what good independent journalists actually do.
I like it. I like it. I like it. Okay. No, thank you, man. Thank you for sharing that. I'm trying to see, did we miss anything? All right, let's get done with these. Mike, what you say, brother, with the 5? Thank you, Candace. Is Ron Burgundy. Does Annie else think can't misses producers are punking her via teleprompter? She's just too dumb to know it. Okay, I would have thought that in times past, but I think that they're all in on it. I think they're all in on it. But I kind of see what you're saying. And she just, yeah. Well, do you agree? What do you think, Gary?
No, I think, look, I've talked about this. I'm very suspicious of who her producers are. Going back to the original Mitch Snow, the way that whole story before he came on live, that thing
unfolded, right,
has all the elements of not only, it's laid out in the hero's journey. We have a divine inspiration at the beginning of this with her dream. We have all these other elements that take place. It is textbook hero's journey, how this story is told. And then on top of that, there is all the elements of misinformation and disinformation operations, where she starts off talking about, basically, she's leading up to his story. And she's given all kinds, she's showing video from the 90s about the war on drugs, about the tunnels, about all this stuff. She gets your head nodding. That entire episode was engineered at a much higher level than her. And I don't know who was involved with that.
Okay.
But it is a well developed piece of propaganda at some of the highest levels. Like that was not just Candace creating that episode.
I got you. No, I don't think, and that's a good point. That's a good point because it was, in retrospect, it was well done and well produced. And I don't think her producers are slouches at all. I do think that they are
It was
dishonest and Go ahead.
I was just gonna say it was more than just well produced. It was formulaic and engineered. How
to get you to a point, right?
Of nonsense. That's what I would say.
Okay. No argument for me. None whatsoever. Thank you so much, Dom. Again with the 10 says this. Bet Candace Owens is thrilled that Clinton bashed Allie Beth Stuckey from The Blaze about Allie's Christian faith. I didn't know that, but okay. Hillary and Candace Owens are evil, demonic, possessed. God bless and cover Jason and Gary. I appreciate that. Clinton bashed Allie Beth Stuckey from The Blaze about Allie's Christian faith. There's not one Clinton that's opinion would matter to me. Bill, Hillary, Chelsea, Fido, none of them. Like there's not a Clinton. There's not one Clinton that I would bat an eye if they said anything about. That would actually, in my opinion, only further prove that Allie Beth Stuckey is a valid Christian voice if the Clintons do in fact call her out. I can't think of one. I can't think of one that I would appreciate their opinions. But I appreciate Kelly. What's she say here with the 5? When my ex was active, we were at Campbell, 101, Screaming Eagles, hurrah. Thank you for your service. And thank you, Jason, for your service teaching. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
I was at 101st and at Campbell for 3 years out of my 10 plus years in the military. Best duty station I ever was at. I didn't realize it at the time. I was Rakasans. For those, she knows who Rakasans are. Everybody knows who Rakasans. Anyways.
Everybody knows. Everybody knows.
Thank you very much. And bless you and your husband.
Absolutely. All right. Make the shirt maroon, please. I got it. It's red and there is a brick one. Now I realize it doesn't say maroon, it's brick. But I'll make sure the shirt is there. Make sure you cop one or 10. All right, what we got here? Thank you so much with the 2. Lyle Culpepper is making fun of Candace's phonics, and I got it pulled up here. And this dude is kind of funny though, so that might be our clear our palate so we can get ready to talk about something else dastardly, Gary, in a second. Gary, where's your alibi for Fort Waktua or Hakatu or whatever? I don't care. Where's your alibi, man?
You sneeze? Yeah, I don't know where my alibi is.
See? If you don't have an alibi, man, it's sketchy.
Hey,
you're in the military too, dude. Come on, man.
I've never been
fess up.
Wachuca. I mean, what was up with? Didn't it seem like? I won't even say it seemed like. I'm pretty sure Candace was leading up to the idea that she was going to be going to Fort Wachuca, showing the overpass signs.
She did say that. I'm sorry. She did kind of create that. Yeah.
I think she went. She probably sent some producers down there, a camera crew down there, and then maybe even she went, and they got kicked out forthright.
I don't think she would. I don't see her being somebody that would go out as you did, Gary, or others, and actually go put boots on the ground in an environment, because nothing has stopped her from going to UVU right now. She could have been at UVU for the last month and just hold up and just doing stuff, meeting with, Phil Lyman and walking the Tyler Robinson Trail and going to Dairy Queen and getting a blizzard. She could have been doing all that stuff. Nothing is stopping her from doing it except the fact that she won't do it.
I mean, if you're investigating, like, I didn't think that trip would have been as important to me as it was. Like when you're on the ground there and you see how small that place is and you just get a better sense of what happened, and like that was invaluable. And when I got back at that point, I was open to anything. I was like, all right, so, maybe it wasn't Tyler Robinson. I had many guests on that were, promoting other theories and things like that. But between that and then studying the 3D model that I had made and being able to put different shooters,
3D model is crazy.
Like made me realize what was going on. But it was at that point I'm like, look, and I was at that point I was kind of indifferent to TPUSA or whatever else. They really wasn't even part of this. I don't even know if, well, I think she had been at that point. I wasn't paying it. I'll say this. I wasn't paying any attention at that point to Candace Owens. Maybe right before that I started paying attention to it. But the point was like, she was a non-factor and I was open to anything, but seeing the ground truth of that place and realizing what took place. And then, they had already released the charging documents. That's shortly after I got back. I'm like, look, what we see is what we get. And then, then watching Candace attack TPUSA when, I feel like we've explored all the options and all the possibilities, and everything that these people are saying just doesn't make sense. So I don't know. It was very important. So if you're going to investigate something and you don't freaking go there, like that says a lot about the validity of your investigation. You don't talk to people, you don't talk to any eyewitnesses. Like that's insane to me.
And that is interesting. And I think, and again, to credit your point, I do think that added a lot of context for a lot of us as we're just watching this and kind of, checking it out from our comfort of our homes. Like, oh, that's the stairwell, or, it would have been easy to go up these stairs. That kind of stuff, real simple things like that would, really change the story up. So I appreciate it. Make sure I got that right. Okay. There we go. All right, now we're good. All right, Gary, let's clean the palate. All right, so this guy is again, like I said, Candace creates her own enemies. Like she has created her own foes. All right, so if you follow this guy, his name is Lyle Culpepper. If the mods can drop his link in the chat, he's a digital creator, and he's just been having fun. Oh, let me get this.
Mindful of the pronunciations. Let's not do anything weird.
I have so many explosive revelations to share with you.
Oh, wait. No, it's revelations. You know what? We can move on.
You got if you can't compartmentalize.
No, sweetheart, it's compartmentalized. Just take that one more time.
You have to be able to compartmentalize that.
Compartmentalize.
And we have to compartmentalize. Compartmentalize how you feel about somebody personally.
Are you doing this on purpose? Is this a bit? Are you trying to get clicks or something?
Can't compartmentalize, but really, it was about the architecture.
Oh, this is the big one. It's architecture.
He just liked the architecture.
Architecture, not architecture.
Loved the architecture.
Architecture.
Yeah, no, like he loved the architecture of things.
You really don't know how these words are pronounced? You speak for a living.
Prince Harry abdicates England, causes this whole race kerfluffle.
Oh, no, it's kerfuffle.
We knew kerfluffle happened.
Kerfuffle.
Because this dress kerfluffle.
Pronounced kerfuffle. Kerfuffle.
Designed quite literally with the intention to mock me and Tucker Carlson. It's always got to be Tucker Carlson, Cameron Owens.
It's Candace Owens. It's Candace. Let's cut here. I'm gonna go take my life. Okay, Candace, let's do a take and just be mindful of the pronunciations. Let's not do anything weird.
All right, shout out to Lyle Culpepper. Yeah, man. I mean, she just makes her own enemies, man. I'm trying to see. He has another one. I can't. He's been riding everybody's bumper, but like, it's not that hard, man. It's really not that hard. All right.
Then she doesn't have like the ability to just laugh at herself too. It's like it'd be one thing if she pulled up that clip earlier and was like, oh, but no, she like makes excuses. Like we all say things incorrectly from time to time, and when we talk as much as we do, I go back and like, especially when I'm out shooting videos and I'm with guns or other pieces of technical gear, and I'm putting all my mental resources into this, and I'm editing a video. I'm like, what did I just say? Like, that was the dumbest thing. And there's been many times where I've added those clips to the end because like we say dumb things, but instead of like, you know what, they're kind of right on this. I was saying some things wrong. Like we would all be able to appreciate and, I don't know, resonate with Candace a little bit, right? Identify with Candace. Like, oh yeah, okay, fair enough. Like, but no, she's like, you're just trying to attack me, and because I said something wrong one time on a show, all the stuff I say. Like, no, you were saying these dumb things multiple times. You thought that's how they were pronounced. That's fine. I'm sure there's some words, like, I don't know what it is. I can always say, what is the word I always, colloquial. All right. Every
Okay.
time I try to say colloquial on camera, see, I'm doing okay now, but I never have a problem saying that word. But there's been many times where I'm like colloquial, how you say it in real? You know, I just have
I
to
won't
slow
say
down,
that word.
you know.
I won't
So
say
anyway.
it. And I'm with you. Real quick, I do want to give her a little bit of grace. There was a representative, I think. Somebody was talking about Candace like in the Senate. And they said Cameras, or I'm sorry. It was a pastor from a stage was talking about Candace, and they said Cameras Owens and Tucker Carlson. So the reason she says Cameras is she's trying to be funny and trying to be self-deprecating. This is her attempt to be self-deprecating in that she does that. I don't think it hits right because people don't know what the genesis of it, and being the fact that she has a pretty lengthy track record of mispronouncing words, people are like, this is your name. You're mispronouncing it. That's why she says it. She's trying to be funny. She's trying to be tongue-in-cheek saying cameras. I've seen the pastor that said it, and I know what she's doing, but that's it. I'm not going to give her any more grace. All right, Gary, you still want to talk about the old file dump? You want to tell us about the
I don't want to get too like we're 3.5 hours in, but I'll start with I think I'll probably cover that tomorrow night more in depth. And by the way, you're welcome to come on again if you'd like. I'd always love to hear your commentary. Look, there's a lot of stuff being put out, and there's 3.5 million files that are being dumped. There is a lot of allegations on both sides. But there's a big difference between the proof that's being put out. I would say things that you can look at and say, hey, this is kind of hard evidence, whereas this is some allegations, and they're all over the place. What I will say is that when you get to some of the things that I consider hard evidence, which are back and forth emails from Epstein to very prominent politicians, which also all happen to be Democrats, all of them, from Hillary Clinton to Barack Obama to, you know, Hillary Clinton talking about, hey, I don't know if we should have this pizza party and bring hot dogs that might get us into some problems. And there's a bunch of things like that. And then you have allegations that are being thrown where there's witness testimony of some crazy stuff alleging toward Donald Trump, which, by the way, they reference him as President Trump. So these allegations are clearly coming after his president started. And they're just that. There's some crazy allegations.
Okay, good catch.
Then you get into some really macabre stuff.
Not macabre. Tobacco?
Where they're talking about Satanism. They're talking about eating babies. They're talking about cannibalism. They're talking about, and the problem is you don't know what's true and what's not.
Correct.
Now look, none of that stuff. I think when we get into the Hollywood elites, we get into the Democratic Party. I think it is. I do think there's some real Satanists in there, and God only knows what they're capable of or what they do when no one's looking. Clearly, I think there's a lot. And then also I went through and I found a bunch of pictures. All right, there's picture albums. You can go to, I spent all day yesterday going through just pictures. You can go to the website, the DOJ website, to the Epstein files, and what they offer you is a search bar. And so I started just searching JPEGs. And so I found multiple picture albums from Epstein, and they were labeled Clinton Far East trip. And so you see a bunch of pictures with him with Clinton. And then next thing you know, you don't see Clinton in the picture, but suddenly there's a bunch of what look to be very young girls. And then it also says nudes, and those pictures are blacked out.
Right.
So there's a big difference, what I would say, that you can tie the Epstein files and Jeffrey Epstein with the Democratic Party, and the more loosely connected things that you can tie Epstein with Donald Trump. Now there's 3.5 million files. Maybe more will come out. And I will tell you this right now.
It's a lot of files.
If evidence came out that Donald Trump was any way involved in any of this stuff, I think you and I would both agree that we would call for his prosecution. I would. And I think that Donald Trump currently is the political figure that is the best option to put our country in a better place. I don't want to go as far as saving our country. I think we're far from being able to be saved as of now. And he's not going to be, it's going to be a couple generations. We'd have to get some, like 4 Donald Trumps into our presidency, and then flush our government of the deep state. And what I mean by deep state is far leftists that are, that are positioned all throughout different agencies and institutions within our country. So
I like it.
You all will probably see a lot of different things being put out with the Epstein files. And I would be very careful, and I would use some discernment with some of those things. But there is a big difference between the tangible evidence that links Epstein with the DNC, many prominent figures with the DNC, many prominent actors and activists in Hollywood that are also associated with the DNC, compared to what we see on the Republican side. So while I am biased, objectively assessing what I've seen so far, stuff that I found within the Epstein files, and also what you can find online with the Epstein files, there's a clear alignment with the Democratic Party and Jeffrey Epstein. Now, I know a lot of people will say that Jeffrey Epstein and that whole operation was a blackmail operation. I agree with that. And he was trying to compromise people. And they will also say that that was a Mossad operation. That's fine. We can say that. But what I can tell you for certain, understanding how our government works and understanding the level of surveillance capabilities of our own government and the security concerns of our own government, there is no chance that Jeffrey Epstein would be operating without the CIA's knowledge as well.
Right.
So at a minimum, what I think we'd have to agree on is that this could be a Mossad operation, could be used to jeopardize people and to compromise people, and to influence them to do certain things. But it if anything, it was a joint operation for sure with our own government intelligence agencies as well.
Wow. Okay. Wow.
That's what I'll leave people with. Maybe we'll jump into some more stuff. Maybe we'll do this show completely different.
We will. Yeah, Pizzagate was a real thing. It's just, you had to be willing to jump into a pretty wild rabbit hole. Is that fair, Gary?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mentioned last night on the stream, I just, when I heard about it, I was a school teacher. It just sounded uber gross. I was like, I don't even want to mess with this. And I have daughters. I was like, there's no way. Nah, I'm good. And I mean, we hear craziness all the day long. You can't chase after every rabbit, or you'll literally be outside chasing rabbits right now.
Well, so, what I'll say, and I think there's most of us understand this. When it comes to the sexual deviance of the elite, and especially the deviant elite, right? I mean, I think there's lots of really rich, influential people that are pretty morally based, but then there's those that aren't. And whether we're talking about rock stars, whether we're talking about Hollywood elites, whether we're talking about politicians, whether we're talking about different heads of state, whether we're talking about royalty, those that want to participate in some of the most diabolical situations, they have access to be able to do that. And I think that's been going on for a really long time. And I'll just let you determine the spectrum. And when you go through those videos, when you go through just the pictures that are in there, and most of them are just thumbnails, but you can see what's going on. What I can tell you is that Jeffrey Epstein, there are hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of pictures. And I think I got to like page 36 of multiple thousands different pages, right? And each page there's like 15, 20 files that you have to go through. And some of them are just like, there's no pictures in them. So I had to go through one of these and wait for them to come up. Anyways, but I saw at least hundreds and hundreds of pictures with Jeffrey Epstein with hundreds of different girls on every situation. Very young. I can't tell if they're underage. And then you get weirded out because I did see there's a bunch of pictures in there, and I posted them on my X account, by the way, so you guys can go check that out if you want. And I posted links to those exact files. But there are pictures where now Jeffrey Epstein, like this is the weird part of this. Like you see Jeffrey Epstein, almost all these pictures, these picture thumbnails, is pages and pages of them. It starts out with you see a picture out the window of an airplane, so they're going somewhere, right? And then there'll be some other benign pictures of the stuff that you and I would get while we're traveling, walking into a hotel, driving in a car. But then next thing you know, we have all these scantily clad or nude women that look very young. Again, can't tell if they're over 18 or not, but they're like right there. If they're 18, that's what they could be 18. And then the next picture, all these, and then the next file you look at, now Jeffrey Epstein is holding a baby. And then there's a couple other pictures of him with a baby. And I don't know, could be completely benign, but when you see it in the context of all that, like, holy crap, this is weird.
Yeah.
And then you start thinking about some of the other allegations that are kind of prolific all throughout the Epstein files. Man, it just gives you you have the sinking feeling in your heart. And this is him in Asia. This is him in Europe. This is him in all over the country, all over the world, in many different countries. So it is a rabbit hole. And then here's the other problem that we have that I think people should consider with the Epstein files is that they sat in the Biden administration and his DOJ for over 4 years. We don't know what's been pulled out of there, and we don't know what's been put in there.
Correct.
And so they had 4 years to do whatever they wanted with them. I think so I don't know. Like, I don't think we're ever going to find anything conclusive that's going to come out of the Epstein files. What I don't understand is when you do have much harder evidence of Barack Obama on an email talking about pizza and hot dogs, it's clearly not pizza and hot dogs.
Correct.
And Hillary Clinton, and then all these pictures of Epstein traveling to Asia, Bali, and a couple other places with Bill Clinton, and then never pictured with Bill Clinton, but here's a picture of this building, and then or inside this room, and then over here is another picture inside this room with Epstein and like 4 or 5, 6, 7 very young women that are now nude.
Wow.
So there's a direct connection. And why haven't these people been hauled in front of Congress and questioned? I don't know. And I wouldn't expect too much out of this. I don't think we'll ever really find out. And I think those have been perverted in like, I have a hard time finding any of the stuff in there credible outside of direct emails that we know are true. But some of the stuff that we've never seen before, I don't know, man. It's tough to sort through.
No, I'm with you, man. I appreciate it, man. All right, we are going to clean our palates a little bit, and we're gonna end on a fun note, if you will. I'm trying to figure out how this guy does this editing, where he looks like he's standing there in the actual place. All right, so he's at the Grammys now. Is it the Grammys? Was that? Say again.
He uses a green screen.
Is that what he's doing? I mean, it's well done. Like, it looks like he's there.
Yeah.
Don't feel like I need to say anything, but
Don't say anything about Iran because it's just not a cause we care about.
no one is illegal on stolen land.
Which also means that nothing that those humans do is illegal. And we need to stop punishing people just for committing crimes. And we need to open our borders. And Emily Austin, why are you on your phone? Stop texting. Put the phone down, sweetheart. Put it down. I will say it is so refreshing to see siblings who are so close, like Billy and what's his name? You're like a young Elon Omar.
Who's her
Guys,
brother?
is all I want to say. Sorry.
Her
And
husband?
as grateful as I feel.
Married brother.
Shut up, man.
No, I'm dead serious. You don't
That
know
looks like the guy from Winter Soldier. And maybe it's just a look.
That is the guy from, but what he's referencing is the fact that Ilhan Omar.
Oh yeah, Ilhan. Yes. Okay. Yes.
Isn't that what he said?
Yeah. I was asking, like, who's it standing next to this young lady right here? I didn't know who that guy was, because he looks like the guy from. Why can't you zoom in on doggone Instagram? Oh, there we go. He looks. Maybe he's not. He's younger for sure.
Yeah. Don't know who he is.
Okay, whatever that guy is from Marvel movies, the
Never seen
Winter
him.
Soldier. All right, last one. I don't know. This might stress us out.
I want to use this moment to speak to the Muslims of New York City. I want to speak to the memory of my aunt, who stopped taking the subway after September 11th because she did not feel safe in her hijab.
And that is why we have decided to construct a memorial for the only true victim of 9/11, Zoran Mamdani's aunt, who had to spend a fortune on cabs after that. We will be constructing the Zoran Mamdani's Aunt Center for Muslims who can't read good and who want to learn how to do other things good too. And when people say, "What is this? A center for ants?" The answer is yes. It's a center for ants. Because we must never forget what Israel did on that day.
Oh no.
And we will have so many amenities that they won't fit into one building, and we're going to separate the center into 2 towers, side by side.
I want to use this moment to speak to the Muslims of New York City.
This dude is crazy.
I want to.
I like his. I like his snark though. I can kind of get with that. All right, Gary. We're almost cruising at 4. I know you're ready to go. 4 more. I know you are. You ready? And
10 more. Let's do it.
Let's unplug. Come on, man. Turn the alarm clock off. Nobody cares about that. Shout out to y'all, man. Thank y'all so much.
10 more
everybody.
hours. As long as none of those hours include another Candace watch party, we'll be good.
Oh, well, there you go. Say less. Well, don't worry about that because I honestly cannot take another one. So I'm gonna let that one slide. I'm gonna have to get myself recouped for tomorrow. But all right, tomorrow you're gonna be talking about the Epstein files at what time?
Either way, I'm gonna do a show at 8. I'm loosely like what's actually out there. I guess we could talk about for a couple hours, but there's so much that's already been covered. I don't know. Anyways, show up at 8 p.m. Eastern time on my channel. I'll put it out. I'll let you know what the topic is. It'll probably include Epstein files and probably a few other things too. We'll see what else is happening with current events. We got a lot to cover. I mean, so much.
But will it be a 24-hour stream? That's the question.
We could do it.
An all-nighter.
All night long.
Whoa, Gary's singing. Y'all. Oh, see, y'all get singing. Look, now we in the Gary singing hour. I don't know where. I don't know what'll happen at hour 8. You just never know, right? Stay tuned. Gary singing. Who knew this was gonna happen? All right. Looking through lots of good conversation going on. Thank y'all so much to everybody who's tapped in. That's 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time tomorrow. But we appreciate you, man.
Make sure you guys like and subscribe on both our channels. Make sure you become members of both our channels. Make sure you go follow
Absolutely.
us on X. I'm also offering, we just hit the mark a couple weeks ago where we can now offer subscriptions on X if you want to support us that way. Down in the description below on my channel, you can also sign up for our newsletter. We don't spam you. Yeah, man. So take care of us. We do our best to take care of you.
Absolutely. Well, y'all, I appreciate it. I'm just looking. I don't know. Oh, I need to do that. I need to work on that. I like it. All right. But y'all, I appreciate y'all, man. Gary, thank you for coming through, man.
No, man. Thanks for
inviting
me. Like I said, I'm totally down with let's commit to like once a week and where we'll chop things up together. I think it'll be a lot of fun. So I'm down. You just tell me the day, and maybe we'll do a floating day, but we'll do at least one day a week. I'm down with 2 days a week. I don't care. You just tell me when to do it. And I always enjoy talking to you and love your perspective. And so let's make that happen.
I like it. I think Tuesday or Thursday will work. Well, we'll talk about offline.
Sounds good.
Before we start a poll out here asking these people what they want. But y'all, thank you so much. Make sure you grab yourself a t-shirt. The obscure YouTuber Gary, as well as the fact that she thought that was a diss is gonna have to be studied by science. Like, ma'am, we don't.
Like she mentions me or shows my content so much that at this point, like, can she still call me an obscure YouTuber? I mean, I should start getting some royalties out of that.
Or something. I mean, she does mention you quite a bit. And I think I've texted you several times when she's brought you up. Like, just out of the blue. Like, today is Tuesday, Gary over there. Paramount Tactical, the obscure YouTuber. Like, how do you do that? Like, how do you keep bringing it up? And I think the issue is, I talked to somebody today about narcissism. And a lot of the time, yes, what we see is projection, but they're just totally clueless that they're doing what they're accusing you of doing. So when she says, like we just saw the clip that you just played of her obsessing over Daily Wire, but Daily Wire's never saying anything about her. They just recently started making fun of her and trolling her, but she had been going on for a year better.
Yeah. I mean, the reason she's bringing us up is, and this is a badge of honor in my opinion, is because we've been effective. We've been effective on YouTube. We've been effective, and it's not just me. It's guys like you and other people that have been holding her feet to the fire, that have been proven the many inconsistencies and lies that she's been putting out. And I've seen such a massive change. And where you see it the most is on X, right? Where we've seen so many. Look, courage is contagious, and I had no idea what was going to happen when I started on this journey and calling her out. I just thought it was important, and I think I still think it is. Like we can't allow somebody to deconstruct the truth the way that she has and continues to do. Like that's why we do what we do, as far as like calling liberals out and calling out the problems with that ideology. Candace now has turned into another lie-based ideology that requires propaganda, lies, smears. That's what she does, and we can't allow that to go unchecked here in the country. Period.
I agree with you. And to help you out, I do think what you did with Mitch Snow and pulling all the layers off of there, I do think that's what really got you on her radar. Because remember, going into the Christmas break, Mitch Snow was the best thing popping. He was going to bring all the government to their knees, and everybody was going to repent for what they did. I still don't know what they were going to repent for, but I digress. But you took that time and sliced apart Mitch Snow, his story, all of his alibis, all of his analogy. So coming into the new year, I think that's why you became public enemy number 19 or whatever public enemy we're on, is because you did such a good job of, dismantling Mitch Snow from top to bottom. There was really, that's why I think why even today, like she's still now trying to figure out Erica's alibi and where Erica was. I thought you were guaranteed that Mitch Snow, when he say 99%, you can never forget those eyes. Sound like an old cologne commercial from the 90s. You can never forget those eyes.
Those eyes.
We gotta find some eye commercial, some eye cologne. But yeah, that's
maybe some eyeliner,
some cologne from the 80s. Come on, man. But yeah, I think the fact that she doesn't bring that up anymore, I think is part and parcel because of you and what you did, because you did a great job, and you do an excellent job of digging in, way better than just, again, I'm still flabbergasted that you flew out to Utah and did all of that on your own dime, when Candace is, according to her, shoulder deep into this story, and she hasn't even left her own house. She ain't even left her deck. Maybe the ice is too deep or something. I don't know.
I like to imagine her getting a pedicure from a little Asian lady underneath her desk as she's just sitting there spewing lies. The queen of lies.
I could imagine that. I would like to see what her studio looks like, though. I would like to see it.
I don't.
But no, really? Okay. I don't know why. I just want to.
No.
Anyway,
I'm not.
Gary, get out of here.
All right, buddy. Thanks for having me on, man.
Thank you so much, Gary. I'll see you soon, friend.
God bless all the viewers out there. You guys keeping it real, and stand up for the truth.
Absolutely.
The truth isn't always popular, but it's worth it. That's a quote from
No
Charlie.
question, no doubt for me. Everybody, thank you so much, Gary. I'll see you real soon. Everybody, have a fantastic night. Thank you so much for tapping in. Please make sure that if you're not already subscribed to Gary on X and YouTube, please change that. If you're not a subscriber here on the J-Wit Podcast and on X, please change that as well. Everybody, we will see you all real soon. Cop a shirt. Support the obscure YouTubers. And until next time, everybody, grace and peace. Take care. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of the Jay Whip Podcast. If you enjoyed today's show, please do me a favor and hit me up with that 3-piece special. Like the video, subscribe, and of course, share it with somebody who would also enjoy this type of content. And make sure you leave a comment because I do pin the best comments to the top. So thank you so much for tuning in today. And until next time, everybody, grace and peace.